Well, there goes the day. Good morning, everybody, and welcome live on this mid-October Saturday, October 14th, 2023, to the 914th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio.
Why do you have two medals?
And so it's a double mel kind of a week, a double mel kind of a day. We have two, not one, but two of the same photograph of our beloved Melvin G. Mintz, local celebrity.
See if we can get on the show.
I would love to get Melvin Mintz on the show. I don't know who, I've never met the man. We saw him in a publication that a Jewish organization puts out at Johns Hopkins University, where he's just a local civic leader and small-time politician kind of guy.
He's also a physical therapist.
Oh, that's right.
Isn't that
So
true?
yeah, my back has
Yeah,
been.
you could maybe he knows about bunions. They might treat people with bad bunion disorders. I don't know.
Yeah, my eyes are differently shaped. That's one of the reasons I was never really handsome. I have like one big eye and one like slightly smaller slanty
you
eye.
don't wash your face with cold water.
Yeah, I
And
agree
use
with
it
that.
too. So when I have allergies,
Yeah,
my one eyelid is puffy like an egg. I get the same thing. We're not symmetrical. That's what makes us beautiful.
no, the most beautiful people tend to be symmetrical. That's the
But
point.
I think they debunked that.
Oh, did they?
And I think they said too much symmetry is kind of scary.
Well, it's boring. Well, yeah, it can
Yeah,
be,
yeah.
But at the same time, it's sort of like, like
They
even
give you those eye bags. You want me to get it for you?
Not right now.
You can wear it during the show.
I'm like,
Yeah,
I
you can
can't
hold
read
it.
anything.
No, you can put it right underneath. It goes underneath. You want it?
Yeah, but well, how will they stay?
You
I've
just
got
have
to
to hold it like
hold
this
my
and
eye like.
drop it.
I don't feel do
No,
that.
okay.
Maybe towards the end of the show I'll
Okay,
do that
yeah.
because I do have the bags, and I have been
So,
tired and I have been
when
sick.
Go down and make your tea at 10.
That'd be great.
I'll bring your eye bags.
Yes, please bring. But and for a while, Rabbi Sol will be taking over the show. He does not, he has to kind of look at the guests. So having eye bags on is
No, but you just put it underneath like little smiles. You don't cover your
Yeah.
eye.
you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
But how do you keep them from falling?
Well, you hold them like this
Oh, yeah.
when you're sitting, but normally you'd be laying down. You can't lay down. And do
Right,
your show.
exactly. I can't. I guess I probably could. We should do that one time. Like, well, in those
Maybe
days
do
when,
New Year's Eve, like a bed in.
but like when Conan and Letterman would try ridiculous different things in their early stages, I should just do like somehow figure out to do the whole show lying down and the computer up here and just talking
Maybe
like
get
I'm
a
doing,
drone, get a drone.
or do it like in an iron lung sort of situation. It's like, welcome to Dave's Gone By. I'm
Want
Dave.
that.
Dang, 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 dang.
No, but you could also be on your side, like in the sexy Burt Reynolds pose,
Yeah, but they would still slide. I would still have to hold them on my eye. This way, I could at
You
least
just-
talk and I'd
you
have
can
the.
Scotch tape them.
But if you scotch tape them to your eye, then the
Yes,
scotch tape is
yes,
what's on
yes,
your
yes.
eye bags,
Yes,
not the
that's
cold.
problem.
Yeah.
I didn't think that through.
We need more R. We need more R&D on the cold
We could
eye
get,
bag
like,
situation.
you could take the yarn and tie them together and somehow.
That's
We have
cool.
I'm sure they have, I'm sure somebody, listen, when you pay $3 and you get them at Marshall's, you're not getting the cutting edge.
Yeah,
eye
you
bag
are.
treatment.
Yeah. First of all, they were on sale remainder at Mart, or did we buy them wholesale because my eye bags were so big?
No, I think we probably just got whatever. was
Which is
there.
kind of, but still, all right, $3, and we put them, and you put them in the fridge or the micro, and boom. So we'll see. But this wasn't even about the size of my eye bags.
No, but
This was about like the size of my eyes.
That's real small. That
Yeah.
one was small.
Oh, so, but and this one's kind of red, kind of like down. It's like,
Yeah.
I've got Sondheim face.
No, it's so much.
It is. Thank God I don't have Sammy Davis Jr. face. That would be worse.
Did he have a stroke?
Well, he had a false eye, a fake eye.
Yeah.
Well, the greatest, nastiest line ever said by a critic about someone's looks ever.
Yeah.
It's awful. He shouldn't have written it. And yet it's the funniest thing ever written about Sammy Davis Jr. He said, God made Sammy Davis Jr. as ugly as he possibly could, and then hit him in the face with a shovel.
Oh my God. Did he hate him?
I don't know why.
Oh,
Yeah, even Teeth found that funny.
no.
I don't know if he hated the guy. Oh, Well, it was like when,
You want me to go make you tea?
no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I mean, it's gonna come up. It's gotta,
You want the, am I making you minty later or what?
or use the throat coat maybe, one of the new
You want
throat
the
teas.
echinacea or the slippery elm?
Slippery elm. It sounds sexual.
That's the original.
Is it really?
Yeah, and then I guess people didn't like the flavor, so they did echinacea. If you can take echinacea, maybe that.
I'll try it.
It might
I
also
will.
give you a little bit of, yeah, I'll make that one for you, the fancier one.
You know, I believe in euthanasia. I might as well believe in echinacea. No, it was like when John Simon, six right there.
Oh.
When John Simon compared Barbara Streisand to an anteater back in the day. I mean, that it was uncalled for, and yet it's something you can never forget.
This is how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, some people win the genetic lottery, some people don't.
Absolutely.
And that's just a matter of combination of genes. So I think it's really cruel, especially for people who are good looking, to pick on people who are not good looking by the standards of that society. It's mean.
No kidding. Of course it's me, but it's something we all do. First, yeah.
I think
yeah.
critics and people do because they're insecure. They're trying to sell in papers.
And also critics don't want to censor themselves, and they're going to say, you know what, this occurred to me. I can write this or not, but it's in my head. It occurred to me, and it's clever and funny and memorable.
Well, it's like Agatha Christie, where the one line they say she's one of the few English heiresses that doesn't look like a horse.
Well, but I mean that's so generic though, in the sense of.
But they're saying about a specific character.
But doesn't look like a horse.
Doesn't. Yeah.
So it's saying that she's pretty.
Yeah, but it's saying that everybody else does.
Yeah. No, it's true. You kind of. Yes. I'll have tea, please. Thank you very much.
I will also bring up your eye bags.
Oh, my eye bags. Yes, bring them up. They're in the fridge. So, so here's what's going on in the Daverhood on this Saturday morning, October 14th. Yes, we're live, by the way, and we're not for reasons that both my wife and I work in the same place. I also work in another place, but we both teach. So there are things that I really want to talk about that I'm not really going to be able to. You can probably guess how I feel about them. And certain things might come up, and certainly when Rabbi Sol is talking, things might come up. But in terms of that, we're going to have to, unfortunately, self-censor and leave that mostly aside, except maybe coming at it directionally askance or askew. That makes no sense at all. Anyway, I wish I could talk, and I should be able to talk, but I'm not gonna. You know how I feel. I'm hoping if you're watching this program, I know how you feel. And there you go. And I do have, of course, Schneerson, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, for luck behind me, as well as Melvin G. Mintz. But there's other stuff that we're going to talk about stuff that's happening in the week. As you can hear, I'm getting over a cold. And that's lasted a week and a half. I'll be chatting with that about Joyce because she didn't really catch it, but she caught a smidgen of it. And what else? Oh, well, I have a list of things. And I can also tell you what's going to be on this program officially. So I did mention that we'll have an update of Bunyan Watch, including, I have created theme music. Well, I haven't created. I patched together a theme, an opening for Bunyan Watch. And we will be measuring my bunions today. It's gone by. Also, Greeley Crimes all time. Greeley Times. Greeley Times. We will go through a column that they have every week in the Greeley Tribune newspaper, which comes from actual phone calls going into the Northern Colorado Police Department from people who are seeing weird stuff going on in their neighborhoods. And the funniest ones are put in the paper. And Morgan McKenzie was doing them, and now she's kind of farmed it off to someone else named Chris Bolin. He started to do some of the new ones for the last couple of weeks. But the great thing is, yes, there's new cop log, there's new Greeley Times and Crimes, and some elsewhere stuff. We'll talk about that too. Plus, we will have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. And this week we're going to Stonewall, Colorado. Yep, there is a place called Stonewall, Colorado. It's also called Stonewall Gap. I have a horrible poem about it also a little information about. Rather interestingly, almost, oh, phlegm. Hold on. Oh, I love coughing up phlegm in the morning. So good. Show you that on camera. That would make the show special. I'm showing you my bunions. I might as well show you my phlegm. You've seen everything, folks. At some point, I'll just whip out my testicles and show you how much bigger the left one is than the right. But Stonewall, Colorado. Weirdly enough, Stonewall, of course, if you're from New York, you know that it has legendary status as a place, as a bar where the gay rights movement really exploded back in like appropriately enough, 69. And Stonewall's known for that. Well, there's a Stonewall in Colorado that was also known for a big exploding protest. So we're going to talk about that, but mainly read a poem about Stonewall Co. as part of our Colorado Limericks of the Dance. So we have all that to do on the show as part of our regular stuff. But the most important thing is we have a guest coming to the Daverhood, a talented producer, musician, songwriter, singer too. His name is John DeNicola. John DeNicola. But most of us don't know songwriting. We know the singers, right? We know everybody thinks like if you think of the rock band Cream, you know, oh well, Eric Clapton, you know, songwriter, and we don't realize that Jack Bruce was actually the vocalist on a lot of their best songs. And a lot of the songs were co-written or written by Bruce and so forth. So not necessarily do we think of the song. Whitney Houston didn't write Greatest Love of All. So you might not realize, I don't realize that a couple of the songs in the beloved classic film Dirty Dancing were written by songwriters, a couple of guys, among them John DeNicola, who co-wrote the all-time hit, I've Had the Time of My Life, as well as Hungry Eyes. He's written a bunch of more songs for other films. He's got a couple of his own albums out, and he's produced a lot of bands. He actually has a record label. So John DeNicola has stories to tell of a life in music, and basically a life afforded to him by writing a couple of the huge, humongous hits, and in particular one legendary song from Dirty Dancing. So we're going to talk about that movie, about his songs, about his life in music, with John DeNicola talking to, not me. We are rather dangerously bringing Rabbi Sol Solomon into the Daverhood today. And yes, if you want to know Rabbi Sol's opinions on what's been going on in the past week, I've reposted some of his older commentaries, his older rabbinical reflections, a piece from his solo show, Shalom Dammit, and even with Rabbi Sol Solomon. Just scroll down a little bit on Facebook and you can rewatch them. So, you know, the stuff he was saying 12 years ago, still exactly the same, tragically. But Rabbi Sol will be here live and in his rather desiccated flesh, talking to John DeNicola, and back about 10 o'clock in the, okay, take these. Oh, my eye bags. Here they are. Oh, let's take a look. Open them on camera. Does this open? Let's see. Oh man. Oh, here I got it. I think I got it. Here we go. Let's take a look. Oh, pretty. Oh, pretty. Let's take a look. Oh. Oh, I look like a Maori warrior.
It looks like a masquerade party.
Yeah, oh, they feel nice. Oh, because I would have done this with like bags of frozen peas, but this is a little bit easier to manipulate.
Now turn it over, see if you can put on your lids. Turn it over.
Yeah.
No, not that way here.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
What, the colorful parts go over?
Yeah, you could try it, see.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Switch sides.
All right, here we go,
No, switch sides, no.
What do you mean switch sides?
Like this, you could put it on your eyelid.
I just did that, and you said, no, hold
your
on.
Eyelid, that's not your eyelid.
I mean, like
Yes.
literally, oh, well, I can't see anything if I do that. Hold on. Feels good though. Oh, that's a nice. I should put it on my sinuses.
Yeah.
She blinded me with sinus. Get it? because I can't see.
Okay, you can put your.
She blinded me with sinus. She blinded me with sinus. Anyway, not talking about what we can talk about. What we can talk about is all the other stuff that happened this last week or two, which is I got a fucking cold.
The food truck.
Oh, all right. Let's maybe start with that was Sunday. I think we went on Sunday, not Saturday. Was that after the show that we went? I think we went.
No, it was Sunday morning
Yeah.
because it started at 11. Remember my obsession with Wegmans, and you got your Wegmans poof poof.
Oh, please. Of all the reasons I have been enraged, let's start with that. Of all the reasons I have
Your
had
Wegmans pie?
an angry, no, going to Hunt Valley.
No, we did a pilgrimage to get your final
Yeah. Joyce and I.
espresso roasted.
Let me explain. So, it's been a rough week, ladies and gentlemen. It is for various reasons. I had stuff to deal with at school. I had stuff to deal with, internationally, stuff to deal with getting a cold. I'm thinking, okay.
Show them
But
the
at least-
COVID test. Show them.
Oh, well, all right. I got it. I brought it here. So I did twice take the big old COVID test, ladies and gentlemen, this week. Because what happened was, honestly, I was probably pushing it back. I was probably not allowing myself to really worry about it. But a week or so ago, I was observed in one of my classes at one of the universities I teach. And so you don't think about, meanwhile, and there's all these back and forth of email. How do you want to do it? Do you want to come here? Do you want to see something first? So I'm like, I'm pushing it out of my mind just because I'm so damn busy teaching the classes I teach. And so the person comes to observe me. It goes really well. My class was great. They were wonderful.
Yeah.
But the day after, with all that going on and just teaching and doing, I literally, as I'm talking in my second class of the day, I feel it getting harder and harder to swallow. Yeah. And oh no, because you know how it is. Your body holds you up and keeps you going with adrenaline.
This is very hot, but you could try.
Yeah.
It's
Echinacea tea. Thank you.
Put it on this platform on the tray.
Oh, very nice.
Not too hot.
Not bad. What about the taste?
It's throat coat.
Mm.
It's throat coat, but that one has flavor. Are you having seizure? You wrap it?
It's a little, I don't want to say fruity-ish, but like something you'll find in an old woman's drawer. It's not bad. It's like a sachet. But not bad. It's good for the old throat. So anyway, set that down. So the day after.
Is probably the honey.
Oh, probably, yeah. So day after it happens, of course, my body says, hey, you've been observed. It went well. Congratulations. I was assuming it went well. It did go well. But, and now you can let yourself go. Now you don't have to worry anymore. The observations, so you still have to teach for a day, but, all the sickness I was holding back from you so you could get through and be brilliant in front of your observer. Now, I'm going to lay it on you. So like the whole day, last Thursday, not 2 days ago, I'm teaching and it's getting harder and harder to like swallow and talk. Yeah. Well, what is that?
That's my flu shot receipt. It was in my pocket. It must have just come out.
So, so old Dave was like, oh no, I do not need this in the middle of semester. I do not need to get sick. But I get sick, and I'm starting to drink soup, and I take a COVID test that we have because we have the boxes in the house from months and months ago. And I take a test and it comes up, amazingly enough, negative, right? But then Joyce looks at the box and says, wait a minute, this is from like March of 2022. We bought these back when we were probably in New York or something. I don't know how we still had them.
I take everything. I save everything. I'm a saver.
But, so I take it and it's like, well, it doesn't really, it's nice to see. It would have been scary if it had come up with 2 lines.
Yeah.
And I would have believed it. I would have, shit, I've got COVID. But I'm like, at least, dodge something of a bullet, but we don't trust it because it's old. Because, it's like, meanwhile, like cans of food or things, they'll last 5 years, but they'll tell you that it expires next year. Okay. Anyway, but I'm resting, I'm sneezing, and I'm like miserable because I go to the Walgreens and it's kind of interesting because I just feeling like, on a Friday morning. And I go to the woman and because I don't want to go to the doctor. Pharmacists know enough to answer these questions. So I say, hello, help. I don't feel like that. But sanctuary. And I ask her, okay, so I need.
think also you had a good time when you cracked your head open at the pool and a pharmacist gave you Band-Aids.
That was beautiful. Yeah. Well, no, she gave me, I think gauze or more than that. She gave me more than just a Band-Aid, probably some Bactine or something. But I go to the pharmacist and I say, okay, so I tested, I'm pretty sure it's not COVID, except I need to buy a new COVID test. But what, and she literally, without even taking a half a moment, I love this. She's like, Sudafed. Okay, because literally they keep these things now behind the counter because people are stealing them to make drugs and meth and whatever the hell they're doing.
But not only that there's a limit on the number you can buy.
Oh,
so they're not a controlled substance like the narcotic, but you have to give ID. Like I saw a woman buy one.
Yeah.
And I think sister might have been buying too many. She was probably in her 60s, maybe 50s, like our age. And the pharmacist is like, you can't buy them. You bought your quota this month.
whoa.
I was like, ooh.
It's not an opioid. I don't know what the hell they're.
No, but I think
They're not addictive. I can't imagine.
maybe we don't know, David.
Yeah.
Somebody told me like I use like a saline spray, but someone told me nose spray is addictive. Like not the saline, but the
Well, what do kids do? They sniffed airplane glue. They I think they used to do, honest to God, they would spray out, they eat cans of whipped cream.
No.
No,
Over the
and then
aerosol?
once the whipped cream was gone, the aerosol, there's something about the aerosol that would get them, I have no, honestly, I don't know for
feel
this.
bad for people who are addicted because that's the tough road to hoe.
Oh, yeah.
Like I love food. That's my only addiction. But even then, like I don't eat so I'm sick, like I'm not binging. But
It occurred to me that that's the difference between you and me. One of the many, but that's like the main difference. Like you eat really, really well, except when you're sick.
Yeah.
And then you allow yourself some
Anything,
chicken
Right,
soup, even though you're vegetarian, you have pretzels and salt,
crackers,
potato chips or salt.
French
I
fries.
eat shitty all the time. And the rare time that I get sick, I was like, little soup, toast.
That's right.
No chocolate, no
Yes,
fish,
That's the difference.
yeah, no shell. And then as soon as I even feel a little bit better, I'm like, give me
Okay,
shit to eat.
So why don't we go to Mission and you get the black plate special?
Now you're getting back to why I'm mad.
Yes, I know. I want to bring
No,
it back.
because if
I
I'm
know you
addicted
got
to
a
one thing,
little-
it's rage. I am an anger addict at some points in my life, right? So, but let me get back to the Walgreens woman, because I went to, I literally just saying to her, well, what do you have? Because I'm seeing behind her, there's like Claritin D, there's Sudafed, there's this, and she's, Sudafed. I'm like, because I'm gonna, why that? Not that, because I've taken Claritin.
Yeah, you have.
And she's listening to your voice. I know what you need is a decongestant, not an antihistamine.
Ah, you were congested.
Right. So that's what I needed. Even though with please my skin stuff, I could use an antihistamine too. But and I said, well, why this? And God bless her. She said Sudafed, and I threw it in the bag. I looked at it after I bought it, and it was the generic Walgreens Fed.
If you would have used
Pseuco-Sudafed.
If you would have used my scanning card, that would have got $3 off.
I didn't have it, but
You get $3. Put in my phone number.
but even that
Put in my
box,
phone number.
I will. I probably did if it asked for one. I don't know, but the thing was, it was $5 as opposed to God knows I don't know how much they charge for probably $15 for a few pills. So I was not complaining, and I was like, well, thank you. And I asked her what's the difference. She says, well, you don't need an antihistamine to calm things down. You need to dry things up. And she's like, "What should I? This Sudafed's the one." She was really cool about that, and then pointed to me where the new COVID tests kits were. So I grabbed a couple while Joyce and I were waiting for freebies from the government, because you can still send away for like 2 or 3 boxes.
Crime beloved country.
Huh?
Crime beloved country, waiting for the government.
Well, no. If they came $3 after I paid $25.
They came $3 after.
No, I'm sorry, they came like 3
insane.
days. The test. I'm so mad. The test kits
Go
came
for
in
the-
the
go
mail
the
for
meatloaf,
free.
we'll go for the meatloaf.
Well, all right. So I'm dealing. I'm feeling like shit, but at least it's the weekend, so I don't have to teach. And then and I didn't do the show on Saturday a week ago, and it had nothing to do. I didn't even know politically when I woke up what was going on. It's a good thing because Joyce and I would both be expelled from this country if I would say what was on my mind at that
You were also
moment.
just sick.
But I was sick. I was sick. We didn't have a guest, and I've been grading and working like crazy. So I was like, this is one of the weeks when I really should take off, and I did. But we ended up going still our usual.
No, because it was the last day of it was the last.
Yeah, too. But also we wanted to. We shop. We go to.
We
the
didn't
big
do
super-
your Philly fluff cupcake.
Okay, all right. So we go to big supermarket that's a couple of miles away, as we do pretty much every week, to get our provisions and stuff. They're really, really expensive, but like everything, if you buy certain things there, it's
Yeah,
the
like
only
every
place.
supermarket. My
Yeah.
aunt used to tell me and my grandmother, like, every supermarket, like, no supermarket will have everything you want at the price you want, like,
Right.
these places are known for like, oh, this is the produce, or this is this, or this is that, or this, you know.
Yeah. But this place happens to have really, really good meat, but it's really, really expensive. So, all right. So I only get things when they're discounted and they're really discounted.
Up there in cold cuts too, you like.
The cold cuts are good. Yeah, and this time it wasn't even a splurge. It was actually a decent price. They had a muffin, a vanilla muffin, because for breakfast, if I don't feel like oatmeal, if I don't feel like cereal, I'm like, I'll have a cake. I'll have it. So we get the vanilla muffin from there. If I tell you, it was the most delicious muffin for $1.50. It was good. It was really, really
You
good.
said it was like a cake you had back home.
Oh yeah, well, it reminded me of something called Philly Fluff that the local kosher bakery used to make when Joyce and I were living in Hewlett. They probably still make it, and the bakery's still there. It's called Walls. And there's a cake they make called Philly Fluff. It's like a pound cake, but vanilla is.
Didn't you also buy raw duck? You bought raw duck too, right? Duck pieces to.
Did I get
stew.
that from there? Because it was half
Yeah.
price, so it was on sale.
Were you gonna stew it or what?
No, I'm gonna make it in either the crock pot or I might fry them up because they're little duck breasts.
Oh, yeah, like in the air fryer.
Yeah. Yeah. So but I bought them because they were 50% off. And they're still insanely fucking expensive, but they were 50% off.
But
The
what did
Jew
you
in me
have
couldn't
as your
resist.
Celebration.
What?
What did you have as your celebration?
So here's the deal. Okay. So after we shop at these places, Joyce knows that I tolerate this shopping complex where she goes and buys clothes and I kind of poke around the 5 and dime
We did
store.
my household, and we got these guys.
We go to Marshall's. We got which guys? Oh,
Well,
this was a big day.
First talk, and you didn't do these guys either.
I haven't. Everything in its time, everything in its place. So where did we get these?
I got that for you last week. when
Where?
you were
Oh, this
sick,
was
but
at the
you-
school.
But first talk about the food and the food. And
All right,
then
then
fling
let me
them.
talk about the food then.
When you're mad, fling them. You could fling them when you're mad.
Oh, I'd be flinging them out. That'd be the whole show. So here's the deal. My reward, I mean, we both have to shop, but my reward for going to the same place all the time is that at the end of it, the stores that we go to are near Mission Barbecue. As the name would imply, it is, as opposed to Outback, which could be anything. I'm going to take you out back and rape you. No, but
Mission bar.
Mission, the name barbecue is in.
And they have
the
a
type.
large tank truck that says Mission Barbecue with smoke flavor coming out.
If you've never heard of the place, it's kind of, it
I
has
think
a,
it's a Maryland. I don't know.
is it only
Maryland?
Maryland? Oh,
I don't know if it's only
I don't
Maryland,
think I
but
brought in my phone.
I'll tell you, I know at least there's other parts of Maryland, because when we told Nihal, I said, David might go there during like Alzheimer's walk, and she said, oh yeah, we know that, we know Mission, so it must be, I don't know where.
At the
it is,
very
but I
least,
know-
it's
yeah,
local,
At least
yeah.
we know it, it's.
But the ethos of the place also has to do with like, it's very pro-veteran, pro-America,
I
pro-like,
wonder if the people who work there are all veterans, probably.
or I'm sure they one time, there's also like college kids working there. They're like, 19 years
They
old
could
at the
be
counter.
ROTC or something.
Maybe. But so they got flags and they got things, tributes to the war dead and stuff. It's a very, not military-ish thing, but there is they have a
It's like
tank.
a VFW, right? Like a VFW, right?
Kinda,
Okay.
yeah. And if you don't know this, at noon, if you go there at noon every day, they play the Star Spangled Banner and everything stops. Nobody eats, nobody cooks, nobody serves. It's just, you see video.
How long is it? How long is it? Like,
That's a rather personal question.
10 minutes or 5 minutes?
No, it's just Star Spangled Banner. It goes on for
Oh.
45 seconds. They show a flag waving on a video monitor, and the music plays, and you stand there, you put your hand on your heart, wrong hand, put your hand on the heart,
And David
take your
holds a
hand
red.
off. Or I'm waiting. I'm like, oh,
Tell them how they got you hooked. This is your addiction. How did they
all
hook
right.
you?
So
How did they hook you?
the very first time I went to Mission Barbecue, because I was like, barbecue. And we looked it up. They have ribs. They have barbecue ribs.
I think you just wanted to escape my shopping hell.
That too. No,
And you ran.
I would even run. I would run from the theater for
No,
barbecue.
But also, there's an Outback right across. You never ran there. So they have steaks too. You ran.
Well, yeah, they probably have ribs too.
because
at
it's
Outback.
new. Maybe because it's new.
It was
too.
new, and I think the prices were a little bit better than Outback. So I'm like, let me try this. It's a barbecue place. Let me try it. What was the place in New York and the big chain of barbecues all over that?
Texas. That's the one in Colorado.
Texas Roadhouse. We used to check out. It was called Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah,
But there's also a barbecue place that's a chain that's all over Times Square. And so this is another one. I guess it's more local. And Joyce is right. They did hook me early on. They got me addicted because I probably told this story on the air months ago. But when I first went in there, I'm looking and it's a pretty clear, clean menu that they have overhead. And you look and so they're like, well, they had baby back ribs and the regular spare ribs. And you can order each, and they're both roughly the same price. So I go to the kid at the counter. I've never been in Mission Barbecue before. And I honestly say, could you tell me what is the difference between baby back ribs and spare ribs? And he said the magic words. You want to try a sample? And all day was like, yeah. And after he wiped up the drool that I did on him, he brought out like this big bone. It wasn't like that, in a little plate thing. He said, here, try. And that was the baby back ribs. And he brought it to me in a little napkin. And I just went, and he was like, me want this. Me need this. Me marry this now. And the kid was like, and they said, well, wait a minute. Don't you want to try this spare rib? And as I was literally ready at that point to order like 75 pounds of the baby back ribs.
That was really nice. Do you ever see that kid again, or is
I don't think so. They're all nice. They're all really nice there too.
You told me they show you the food before they pack it.
They do. They do that too. So he brings out now a spare rib, which is much closer to what they give you in a Chinese restaurant. That's what they call them. Those are more recognizable. And I was like, I will try this too. I did try this too. It was fantastic, but I already had my heart sunk into the baby backs.
Really?
They were both fantastic.
That's so nice. Didn't one time they give you chicken too? They gave you a piece of chicken to try?
One time, because sometimes they have, every once in a blue moon, they'll have a little plant where everybody can sample a little bit just to taste. Because honestly, who comes there for chicken? But
like let's say that I was still eating meat. I would probably, if I was a meat eater and I couldn't eat the meat, but I would.
Of course, you have the chicken. Sure, why not?
Or maybe kids. I don't know if kids like. Anyway.
Yeah, but they need to be taught. So that's how they got me.
But this
completely
is a
hooked.
standard.
And the other way that they got me hooked is that I would say once every month and a half, 2 months, they go with a black plate special, like a blue plate special is a black plate special. And it's a very reasonable price for something that they offer, or something that they don't even offer all the time. They're bringing out specially for a couple of weeks for people to try and buy, and then it goes away. And twice since we've been living here, the black plate special has been a ribeye. One time it was a Hawaiian ribeye steak.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Like kind of a sweet sauce, but we're talking ribeye steak.
This time it was espresso rub.
This was espresso rub, the latest one, espresso rubbed smoked ribeye steak. Think of these. I love coffee. I like espresso, but espresso rubbed. I like being rubbed. Rib eye So every word in that is beautiful. You put them all together, it's greater than the sum of either of
We've
its
had a
parts.
bunch of them, but this was the last time.
Well, this was the deal. So every week we've been going in for the espresso rub smoked ribeye steak, which is a very nice piece of steak for $13.
It looks to me like a prime rib, that's what I.
Because it's ribeye, it's
Yeah, that's
rib.
what it
It's,
looks like, a
it's the
prime rib.
ribby
It looks
tits.
like a prime rib to me. but
Yes.
I don't know any better, but
So I'm eating, because I could go out back for a ribeye, it's
Well,
$25.
there was the Hawaiian ribeye, then there was the shrimp.
They did shrimp for a
They
bit.
did shrimp, which you tried,
The shrimp were delicious. You get 7 fucking shrimp for $15.
and
It's like,
then after the shrimp, they went back to the ribeye.
after the shrimp, they went back. to
And
the
they
ribeye.
changed the flavoring, and now they're doing,
Well, this is why I've been, if you think I'm angry about the Middle East, I am. If you think I'm angry about having a weekend that was kind of shot because I felt like shit, I was. If you think I'm angry because I had an issue to deal with student stuff, I am. But nothing compares to the rage I felt when Joyce, was checking her phone last week, and she said, they're changing the black plate special next week.
I
It's
usually
not.
call them and ask them to double check it.
Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean they're changing the black plates? But what do you mean they're changing?
I usually do it when you're driving, so you don't kill us, so you keep going.
You're lucky I didn't smash into a wall.
Well, no, but I did it when you still were available to get the ribeye, so.
Yeah, that's true. And she says, yeah, no, the ribeye is going away. The ribeye steak is not going to be the black plate special now. And I'm like, well, what is? What am I? Spare ribs, maybe? The baby back ribs, okay.
Oh, they had a hamburger too.
Prime
You
rib?
didn't like the cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's fucking cheeseburger. Come on.
I.
The new black plate special
It's
as of a couple.
comfort food, it's comfort.
The new black plate special as of a couple of days ago is smoked, I'm sure, meatloaf. They went from ribeye steak to meatloaf.
So what did we get you to cheer you up? Because you were,
We got me a ribeye steak. Oh, and we got this too.
well, you were upset because the whoopee cushion had an accident.
Yeah, the whoopee cushion was a piece of shit that we bought.
Oh.
And that's the thing. I sat down. I didn't even bump down on it. I just went, and it broke. We tried this a week ago, 2 weeks ago when we were on the air. Terrible piece of shit whoopee cushion. Although if you put a straw in it,
Yeah,
it will reinflate. But Joyce knew I was upset. So before we went
well, you
to,
also tortured me in the whole store with squeezing the pig.
I did.
There was a bigger one. We didn't buy the big one.
We didn't buy the bigger one. I
It was
did that
like
for your sake.
$14.99. It was
Yeah, that too.
$14.99.
But this one's so. First of all, Joyce finds that this I did not really want to buy, but Joyce wanted to buy this.
I like the hair color.
This is a-
Show the hair. And show the shorts and the outfit. And he's wearing a little thing, see?
Yes. Yeah. See, look at that.
Silly sound, what does it say?
Well, it says mom. Oh, it says mom. I don't know why it would say. Oh, it's a tattoo.
Look, it says silly sound on the tag in the front.
Yeah, silly sounds more fun.
Oh.
Is this a dog toy or is it just a squawkers? Silly squawking sounds dogs love. So you think, oh, it's gonna be this cute little weird little chicken toy that makes a little cute little dog noise, a little squeaky noise that dogs would love. Listen to this thing.
You stop it. Please.
We bought it. We bought this.
The other one that.
All right, hold on. But this is.
And you know, any dog would eat that in 1 second. It's so thin, it would just chomp through it.
Oh no, an dachshund couldn't.
It's so thin, please stop.
All right. So Joyce decides to get this also because we have little baby chickens that we fling around.
It
And
was
things.
chicken alert, it would be important.
Oh, for chicken, that's true. I'll hold this in case it comes up in Greeley Times. But the one that I wanted was
You wanted a huge pig.
it was a sorry, folks. It was a giant version of this. Also a dog toy. And of course, I'm going around the shop where we
Yes,
are.
make
Have another
squeak
one of
in
those paper towels, please.
Sure, honey.
Thank you.
This too, or take
No,
this?
I'm good. I with one at a time. There, thank you.
Keep extra.
And when Joyce isn't looking, or even when she is, I'm kind of sneaking off behind her,
I
going,
can hear you, yeah. That's more realistic. What's his name? What does it say?
Does it have a name? It's an origami pal called Grunt. Squeeze me. I grunt.
Go on, read the back. It says something. I can't read.
It's all about the squeak. Here we
Oh,
go.
good, okay.
Come on, make some noise. Dogs love the high-pitched sounds these toys. Is it high-pitched?
No.
No. Bright, colorful, and so many different shapes and sizes. There's one for every playful, toy-loving pooch out there. Some are stuffed. Some can float. Ooh. So go ahead, give it a squeak,
What's in his ear?
and watch the fun begin. Oh, tag.
What does it say?
I can't.
Here, I'll read it.
All new material, content. Good Lord, it's some sort of. I
I'll tell you,
I have my glasses here. It's
It
propylapical.
says,
or
all new
something.
material content polyester fibers.
All right. Well, yeah.
Look at his little thing.
It is very cute. Look, he's cute, and it makes a noise that sounds like a fart. So of course, as Joyce is going around the store,
Yes.
I'm kind of
I can
ditching
tell
her a
where
little
you
bit.
are because you're like sneaking off and everybody, I'm like, David, please don't do it. People in the house are laughing. I'm like, please stop it, David, please.
And you know, and of course I wait till
And then
Joyce.
some other child got one and did it too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But every time Joyce would bend over to look at something, I'd be
Yes.
like, made me really happy. So finally we did. What made me really happy.
Pig tried to escape the other day too.
Oh, I know that. But I was so tempted. The other one was like $15. This big version of
Next
this.
time we get one of those coupons back, and then we'll get.
Well, we'll get the big pig, but this is, come on.
I think also the color's beautiful.
Yeah, not many things are this lime green
No, thank
kind
God.
of toy color.
What about, should do the sloths?
I feel like Harpo. Also, I
See
feel
if
like.
the sloths work, honey.
Oh, let's see if that. Well, let me get angry again. Let's see. What can I get angry about that we can talk about?
We'll have to eat the meat boat. Oh, we're missing yard sales today too.
Oh no, there's an art sale in an art like gallery kind of thing in Towson we can go to when we're done. It starts at noon. Hold on. Okay. Look at
And you gotta talk about Oregon Trail as well.
Oh well, yeah, that was. Yeah, Oregon Ridge. Yeah, hold on. All right, so we got. So this is a another toy thing.
You know,
I kind of do. Here we go.
what did you do to it?
No, I don't know. This is what it does. This is like, ugh.
It says sticky footed sloths, toss them at a wall, make them crawl.
All
It
right, here.
says be careful, there's choke hazards for kids.
This is what was coming out of my nose all week.
Yeah,
Look at
that's
it.
true.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna toss.
You can throw it over your head,
Let's try it. Well, see if
onto the wall. Oh, he did, look.
oh look! Wait,
Can you see?
you can see it behind the chair. There he
Yeah, you
is.
did that.
Look,
You did it. Now peel them off, do it again, do it higher.
his balls to the wall. Okay, let's see it.
No, those are his feet.
Oh yeah, this leaves a mark on the wall. Hold on.
His balls are sticky.
Who's hard?
What are you doing with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's hard. It's tough.
Throw
So
them,
it's.
wait, fix that ball, throw them up.
Oh, his balls.
Throw them up high.
All right. Well, I don't know if we'll
Just
see it.
at high at the-
Here,
so he
here.
falls
I'm gonna
down.
toss. I'm gonna toss the
Wait,
sloth.
fix his ball.
I don't know. It came out of his arm. Here, no, hold on. How can it do that already? It's supposed to be like in his arm. All right. Well. All right. Here goes the sloth. It's gonna hit the wall, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that.
Yeah. So just sort of stay there, or
It's supposed to eventually fall. That's
oh,
fine.
so we'll keep it. We'll keep it
You wanna
behind me.
try the other one?
No, if I broke this one, look at it. It's all gaburman. Yeah.
You're like a breaker of any novelty toy. You killed the whoopee cushion, you killed the sloth. Now
Yeah.
he's three. He's only 3 armed, or 2 arm, 1 arm, 2 leg.
Yeah. Well, it's right by my ear. It's kind of a cool place right there.
It's
So
cute. He's,
yeah. So anyway, by the way, it's 9:45
geez.
Eastern time in the
What is it
Daverhood.
called? Tell him the Oregon Ridge.
Yeah. So among the other things we did, despite my cold, we decided not to let the weekend last
Can I
weekend.
just ask you on a personal note?
Yeah.
You said today that thing, what time does it end?
I think 4 or something like 4 or 5.
Okay, good, so we have time.
It's over in Towson. If we want to go, it's like an artsy thing. It's kind of rainy, and it gives a corner, so it might be outdoors, so it might suck. But I don't know. We can look for it. Anyway. Yes. So last Sunday, we're looking for something to do. Because even though we like doing the same things over and over, sometimes we like to try something a little different if it's local. I don't want to schlep, I don't want to drive, 45 minutes to anywhere. Certainly not during the semester, there's just too much going on. But to go locally, to find something new to do, why not? So Joyce notices that among things to do around town is a honey festival
Yeah, honeybee.
in local, I don't even know what town it is. I mean, it's almost an hour town,
I don't
but
know.
it's just really just a couple miles away, honest to gosh.
Yeah,
And we're like, what the hell? Because Joyce swears by honey. She puts it in her tea all the time. She thinks it's one of the
It's
properties.
medicinal, it's an antimicrobial. I think that it just gives you, like, also, if you, that's why I wanted local honey.
Yeah.
Because then the bees pollinate the local flowers and then you get some immunity to the local flowers.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're not the only. Obviously, you're not the only one who says this. So
Mhm.
you're really and you like it. If I accidentally serve you tea without enough honey, you're like, yeah. You like the taste.
I do.
Yeah. You use it for me when I have throat stuff. I
Exactly.
don't like the way honey tastes, but I'll take it. I'd rather have agave or sugar.
Yeah.
But because I'm a white sugar fiend, need it. So we're like, honey festival. What a perfect place to get hyper local honeybee honey and see beekeepers do their thing as long as we stand far away.
Yeah.
And see other crafts and bear things, and they said baby animals. Baby animals for Dave. Dave loves.
It was really a cranky goose.
Yeah, there was the baby. So we go. And it says like we're going in there, and already I'm terrified because I have to drive up this thing.
David, what was when you went inside to the bathroom? What was in that building? Was there animals in there? Were there animals in there?
It was just a lot of crowds in. We were in the same place.
But I didn't see. I just saw classrooms. I didn't
Yeah.
see any.
I didn't really go deep
Maybe
in.
there were like. Yeah. I'm sorry, David.
So I didn't really see that much of the whole building. I saw there was one big room where they had a ton of kids and stuff, and I was avoiding because I had a cold at that point. I didn't want to either give or get. But the thing was, we go to this festival. I'm trying to drive in. It's like a $5 for a carload, five, whatever it is. But just trying to figure out how to park because they have this girl
Just
like
park
directing
on the
traffic.
grass.
Just
She's
like,
just
I'm
park
like,
on the-
where?
She's like, go up on the grass. You're like,
And there's people behind me. I'm like, right here, and she's going like with her fingers. I'm like,
Yes.
what the fuck does this mean? Just tell, go left on the grass here. Jesus fucking Christ! So I go further up, and actually it wasn't a bad drive at all. Find a place to park, and then we go out walking, and we're looking. Say it was a festival, but rather than like the first thing we gravitate towards, we gotta be looking for people selling honey or people selling crafts or looking for the animals. It's like. Oh, food truck.
No, well, that's not true. We had gone to
What?
the little house.
What little
We had
house?
walked up around.
Yeah.
We looked at the crafts. We looked at you were scared to go near the honeybee hives.
Yes.
Do you want, I have the pictures on my phone.
Well, that was the thing that the main quote unquote disappointment. I'm scared of
Yeah,
bees.
there
I've
was
told
no-
stories
maybe
on
we
the show.
missed the demonstration of the bees.
Yeah, but all they had a couple roped off.
Hives.
They had like beehives, sort of away from people, and then a sign about demonstrating.
No, but they had the bee crossing. You were afraid, remember?
Fuck
There were-
yeah.
That was real.
That was very real. If you went behind one particular building, it literally had a sign in cute letters like "Beware, be careful,"
Bee
because
crossing.
it was a bee crossing, right? Because what it was just this pathway.
It was a hive. It was that open hive that they would fly across.
Yes, fly into. Now I'm assuming people parade it back and forth all the time. The bees don't bother you
We don't
because they
know
want to
yet.
get. I was not going to find out.
No.
I was not going to go behind there because the bees were free.
We saw the geese, the roosters. Remember, we saw the roosters. We saw
Yeah.
owlie.
Oh, that was the best animal wise because there was no goats. There was no. There were chickens. They did have chickens. They had this goose with like a tumor over its bill.
No,
I
that
don't know
was
what
this thing. And they say he always like.
Yeah, there are geese that look like this. They look like they've got a big old tumor growing on their face. So he was noisy, he was whiny, he was cranky.
And then they had a man making leather. They had a girl.
Wait, I don't see a man making. Oh,
He was making leather
Oh.
pouches and stuff. They
Hmm.
had a guy making canes out of like sticks, and then they had some earrings and some crafts.
But they also had the really, really cool thing is that in one building that you could look into, they had a gorgeous barn owl
Yeah.
with this
and a
amazing
vulture. It was
face.
a vulture. What was the second one?
Well, then there was another guy. There was a guy walking
Oh,
around
yes.
with he wasn't actually a baby, he was just small.
He was the tiny
A
owl.
tiny owl on his shoulder. That was the cutest freaking thing you have ever seen in that really was worth the car price of admission to see this little baby owl on his show, or was that? No, he had a glove. He had a glove and it had his
Have the
talons.
pictures, do you want them?
Yeah, sure. The towel,
I have pictures of you too.
of the owl on his hand. And if they had no sheep, no goats, no cows, no petting zoo kind of cool, feed the this, none of that. No, not a pig, nothing. Just a couple of chickens, a goose, but the owl, one owl in the barn, one little tiny owl. Oh, adorable. And otherwise, you're just basically walking around like little bit. It's kind of like Centennial Village.
Backward, but I'll start from the beginning. I have the menu too.
Cool.
So here's the parking. Oh, there's the guy with the skeletons too. You might want to do that. So David, go this way.
Oh, well, right.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the guy with the skeleton. So go this way.
So go, okay,
Yeah.
swipe you that way.
So this is what we saw on the last date when we were going to Hunt Valleys to take.
Oh, that's right. Well, we were
Yeah.
driving. I don't know if this was a harbinger because of my cold, but there was a car. I mean, because it's 3 weeks from Halloween, so of course everybody has to be in Halloween mode.
David, there's a bunch of pictures that are better than that. Though.
All right.
If you get to make it tiny again and then go.
All right, here we go.
Go and
You can see it's like a skeleton on.
That's the
That's
best,
pretty
yeah.
cool. I'll make that bigger.
Sure.
This was literally on top of the guy's car. Yeah, this is the kind of town we live in, ladies and gentlemen.
Creative.
And this was the parking person trying to tell. I took this picture just so that we knew where the hell we were parked. It's actually pretty easy to find.
Yeah, I like
And
that
then-
place a lot.
And here's me.
That's you with the chicken, the good chicken, not the angry goose.
Yeah, no, sweet. The goose was the angry one. The
Yeah.
chickens were fine. Chickens were
You're
pretty.
with the picture of the goose, which is deceptive.
Oh yeah. Look, I'm pointing at an animal.
Yes.
As if you can't see the animal unless I
You're
point
saying-
at
you're
it.
saying what you're looking at. That's very important.
Yeah. And then
What are you doing there?
this is me being scared.
Oh, open beehives. Yeah, we're trying to overcome your fear.
Right.
You're-
Which I would have. I would if I was standing there. I had my coat on.
But there
I wasn't
were
wearing
bees in those
shorts.
hives, They weren't in there.
There were actual.
Yeah,
I mean,
there were bees in there.
yeah.
You're very brave.
but there was no demo. It was just like beehives.
We got
Okay.
there was like 11:40, so we didn't. It wasn't like we got there 5 minutes before. they closed.
No, we were there in the thick of things, honestly, and just like, okay, that's me just being. And here's
What's that?
I don't know.
Let me
Oh,
see.
these are all like old
Oh, I don't know, logs. or
beehivey
Yeah.
log things of
something. We're not sure what.
places
was.
that bees make their little
I
colony
just wonder
things.
if that's-
And this was
Let me see.
no, what was that?
Let me see.
I have no idea
I
what that.
took a picture of the floor. Oh, that's the owl. He's in there.
Oh, you could barely.
Yeah.
That didn't come through. Oh,
Okay,
well.
try the next one.
Here's me with a giant log,
That's David doing his woodworking.
and then
Let me see.
there's more me with a log and the Forest Hope.
Forest of Hope.
Forest Hope, which is probably the most ironic line of the whole fucking week. And then let's see, Flexalicious street food.
Oh, yeah,
menu.
this is at the menu. Because this is Joyce, like, I can't, I just went to I do what every student does. I went to the van, people on the line. I said, I'm not cutting the line. I took a picture of the menu and went back online so we could read it.
Yeah,
And then I shared it with other people so they could read it.
so they had a food truck there at this place,
And
and
there's more pictures.
well, yeah, let me talk about the food truck.
Yeah, I'm gonna find
Oh.
some good pictures for you.
And so we're like, well, what do we want? Because most of the food is meat and Joyce can't eat it, but we had just eaten before. We'd gone to Mission Barbecue for my beloved steak beforehand. So there was no point in ordering like a Cuban sandwich from the food truck.
Yeah.
So like, was like, oh, let's split some French fries, right? Large size or small, oh, large, because it's French fries. And
Fake fries, fake.
Fucking what? No.
They're made of bees. 'Cause
Oh.
it's a bee festival. It's made of, the bees make honey, which they make French fries.
Do you know who the lead performer at the Bee Festival is? Sting. That's a joke right there.
Zayto, you should write for the dad calendar.
So anyway, we wait because the food trucks take a little bit of time. I have other people waiting too, but when they brought out the French fries,
Oh my God.
and they were pricey, but
Because
holy crap!
Well, our friend who does the French fries for the Methodist Church, he's sick. He's not making them no more.
Right.
But these
These were among the best French fries I literally have ever eaten in my. Because they weren't just fried, shoestring style. There was something about them that they were almost crispy,
they
like
felt puffed. Yeah.
puffed, but light inside.
Yeah.
But but they weren't hollow. They had to
No,
take them in.
yeah.
But it was, I don't know how they did them.
It was a miracle.
I don't know how they did them,
It was
but
a
the
miracle.
fries were unbelievable. If it hadn't been for the owls, the fries would have been the absolute here.
I'm going to show you it. The owl. You want to see it?
Oh, you did have the owl? They show the owl.
No,
And we have our
I don't
guest
have
waiting
the-
in
I
dinner.
don't have So if you go couple, he was hard because I didn't want to scare him with the
Oh,
camera.
look.
I just don't want to scare, not the guy, but I didn't want to scare the owl
Owl.
with the.
Well, it's not gonna fly off.
And there's another picture of him too.
Look at
He's very
him. Look at him.
There's one more picture.
That's an owl. Okay,
And
there's
that's the
another
owl.
picture. Oh, you got him. Look at this.
Look at him. He looks kind of PO'd though. Look
Well,
at him.
owls do. Owls are relentlessly constipated. They're like, "Ugh." Oh
I
no.
think that might be it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Oh
that's
no.
my stuff.
But the one thing, the irony of this
we
whole.
did survive.
What?
Remember, we survived Tropical Storm Lydia this week.
Why does it look like a dick? Literally, it looks like a dick shooting cum all over the ocean. Fuck.
That's Tropical Storm Lydia.
Well, oh Lydia, you encyclopedia. Lydia, the tattooed tropical storm. But what was it? Oh, but the one big kind of funny irony of the whole thing was, and I bought like some maple syrup from people selling, authentic
Yeah.
maple syrup and stuff. Fine. You buy shit at these places because you're there, right? And they have crass people. But this was the local honey festival. There's nobody selling honey.
Isn't that
Nobody had any local honey. No,
weird? It's very weird.
none of that awful stuff where they put a jar with a honeycomb in it
I don't
and the
understand.
honey, which grosses me the hell out. I don't know. It's completely beyond me, and yet it was a fun time had
I
by
don't-
all,
yeah,
and the weather was beautiful.
I asked the lady, I said, did we miss any of the events? Because she had small kids, they were waiting. If you ordered anything with meat, they were waiting at 45 minutes. She said to me,
Yeah. Well, they had one food truck for the entire event.
well, she said you didn't miss it.
Oh, they also had a hot dog guy who
Oh,
was
they
grilling
did, yeah.
hot dogs and stuff. So again, if I hadn't eaten my steak beforehand, probably would have gone for that. But anyway, we're here in the Daverhood doing the Dave's Gone By Facebook, your podcast, your programming of the stream. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. It's episode number 914 on this Saturday, October 14th, 2023. And so now
Oh, gee.
we are delighted to bring our guest into the Daverhood. He's a songwriter, a musician, also a musical producer, record label owner, and has been at this game for quite a while and has had kind of a bit of success in the record business, and we'll tell you why. Coming to interview him is the one, the only, the Jewish, and of course quite enraged these days, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. Let's play some theme music for the Rabbi as we bring him in to talk to John DeNicola. shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. Shalom to all of you. No, you know what? Not shalom to my enemies. Just shalom, my friends. Here on Dave's Gone By on this Shabbos morning, October 14th, 2023. I am Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder, spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. Delighted to be here. Delighted to talk music, the thing that brings people together as opposed to everything exploding apart at the moment. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest in the Daverhood who knows a thing or two about music because he is an Oscar-winning, Golden Globe-winning songwriter. You might have heard of a song or two that he's written, particularly if you know the movie Dirty Dancing. Me, I tend to do more dirty davening, but he does dirty dancing, including the classic songs Hungry Eyes, and of course, I've had, in parentheses, the time of my life. He is also the founder of the independent record label OMAD. As a matter of fact, that label kind of was the start for a band that became Maroon 5. And he himself, John DeNicola, has put out an album just 2 years ago called She Said. So he's doing his own music too. So won't you kindly welcome to the Daverhood, John DeNicola. Shalom, John.
Shalom. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How you doing?
I'm very good. I'm enjoying your energy this morning.
This is good. I'm enjoying my angina this morning. Something I have to watch my heart. So I love even where you are, right? Is that like in a farmhouse or just the door is distressed?
I have to tell you, it's I'm recovering. I'm recovering from, it's about my 18th day, 4th day maybe of negative COVID. So I'm out in a converted. It's a very nice cottage.
Converted? Was it not Jewish before?
It was chicken coop.
So this is outside. You're in your domicile, but you're in a special room, separating from who? From your wife? From who? From
Yes, my wife. My wife. Yeah, she has yet to ever have COVID, and I didn't want to give it to her. I happened to go out to Long Island to unfortunately a friend's funeral. And I'm sure that's where I got it.
But here's the deal. Has your wife been telling you that it takes more than 14 days? And she said, oh, no, it's 2.5 months. You have to isolate for 2.5 months.
No. It's me, really. I just want to make sure because I don't want to. I'm fine. We're in fact, today we're moving. I'm moving out. I'm moving back in.
Or so you think. Somehow the plumber's been coming around every evening at like 7.
Yeah.
Oh, what's been? No, kidding. How was your COVID though? Did you suffer? Was it bad? Was it not?
It was not bad. It was long though. I tested positive for a long time. It was all right here.
Yep.
I had I didn't have the energy. I had energy. I didn't have that, where I can't get out of bed at all. In fact, I almost had more energy. No headache, no loss of taste
and smell.
Yeah. So it's just, but it would, a couple of times it got a little scary. So I took Paxlovid. And I think it really helped.
Oh, good. Oh, Mazel. This is, and you look fine. You sound absolutely fine.
I feel good today. I'm raring to go.
So when you say raring to go, what is your average day like as a person who runs a label, who does music production, who makes songs? How do you parcel out the time of your day creatively and businessly?
Yeah, well, it tends to go, you're in the studio recording an artist for a month or two. And then it goes into putting the record out to the public. And so then there's the PR that goes along with that. And, that could be another 2 months. So it comes in waves. I could be out in the studio for months and then I'm not back in the studio for months. So I just put out, we put out about 4 records this last summer. So, and they're all doing well. One just came out and he's out touring, and a guy named Robert LaRoche, an album called Forevermore. And before that was a gentleman, Peter Lewis, who was, if you remember, you may not, Loretta Young was an Academy Award winning actress.
Yeah.
And her son was Peter Lewis, and he was in a band called Moby Grape, which was an almost famous, very influential band. And then his daughter, we did a record with his daughter. So, but I just did Peter's record.
So you pulled your Peter out essentially at that point.
I did.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just, it feels good to have someone like Peter, who is just it's musically and philosophically a genius. In fact, we're doing a documentary. My son is doing a documentary on Peter's life, but it's more about Peter. His daughter Arwen came to him when she was 26 and said, teach me music, teach me, you know, guitar. And so she became an artist. And so it's the documentary is called Fall on You, which was a famous song of his in Moby Grape.
Right.
And that's essentially what it is, Fall on You. You know, I'm gonna it fell on him from his mom, and now he's
falling on the door. Let me ask you though, what do you say that an album in this day and age, in 2023, is quote unquote successful, is doing well? What is that even? I mean, are you putting out CDs anywhere? Is there vinyl in a shop? What is a successful record?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That's what she said.
I'm gonna get on my soapbox here. You know, my success was during the heyday when LPs and CDs were and radio, terrestrial radio was something. Now, streaming has destroyed the business. Streaming, and maybe your listeners should take note, if you like an artist, if you're you know, enjoying an artist, try and download the music they're doing, you know, where you pay 90 cents a song, or try and buy the CD or the LP that they offer, because that's the only way they're going to see money. Streaming, yeah. I can get 15 million streams per quarter, you know, so for 3 months I can get, you know, with Dirty Dancing, The Time, Dirty Bit, Hungry Eyes, and the rest of my catalog. And out of that, I'll see about $300. And that's for, yes, you heard right.
Millions of streams.
Millions of streams.
Paid for stream, in other words, through Spotify, through you know, Apple Music, like iTunes. So that's the legal stuff, not just people watching it for free on YouTube or whatever the hell.
Right. iTunes still, because you download from iTunes, although they're kind of phasing that out, that still pays okay. Apple Music, not so much, although they pay better than Spotify, and like YouTube pays nothing. We're talking about, for a stream, the songwriter might get 0.0001 cent, so 1,000th of a penny for a stream.
So if you talk about these artists that you are producing on the OMAD label here, then these are people who are, with all due respect, not getting 15 million downloads the way I've had the time of my life would. So what are they getting? Like $8.40? I mean, how do they make? Or just on tour? What do they do?
Yeah, tour. Some of these artists are in the older, you know, 50 and over. So their audience still buys CDs.
Which is nice. Okay.
Which is nice. I'm hoping kids, because apparently the younger generation is starting to get into CDs a little bit. And we all know that vinyl has come back a little bit. Yeah. But vinyl is just hard. It's come back, but it's very hard for the audience to find that vinyl piece, you know. But you know, we basically our sales for CDs are through the website omadrecords.com.
Is anybody making a profit at this point? I mean, thank God I'm sure you're comfortable from just the money that you made 40 years ago. I'm sure you live a nice life thanks to, you know, and if your song is still used in a TV show or something.
Yes, all the time. Yep.
Is that
happens all the time.
Yeah.
So you're right. You're correct. So you know, break even, maybe make a couple of bucks is about where we're at these days, you know, with CDs and such. You know, like, again, the Spotify's and all that. Is that if you had to make it on that alone. It's
Well, how
not-
would you, you know,
we're hoping.
Yeah.
I have someone I'm working with now that I'm getting all this catalog to that works film and TV. So film and TV is where it's at now. I don't want to say unfortunately, but you know, terrestrial radio is semi-finished because now iHeart and Cumulus, a couple of huge companies, dictate what every station plays all over the country. So there's like one guy, you know, so the old days of wonderful radio was.
the radio was never, what radio always sucked, just now it really sucks worse.
Yes,
It was
okay.
never good.
It was pretty good for
Yeah.
songwriters got paid from radio. Songwriters.
Money maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
But you know, you used to be able to have a regional breakout, right? So my band is doing well in the Albany area, and the label and the stations around here are starting to play the record because it's a local band phenomenon. And then it bursts, and that doesn't happen anymore.
But the spot you're in is that the one place that probably still you can break things is college radio, but college is
Yes.
not going to be listening to 50, 60-year-old artists that you're producing. So it's a catch-22.
Well, they're not bad in that regard, to be honest. They're kind of open-minded.
That's good.
And so I do, depending on the project, I do, I'm getting one of these things out, so stop coughing.
Yeah.
I do, depending on the artist, I do go to college radio, and it's been successful in that it gets the word out, you know, people. But the problem with college is, you know, a couple of years later, those guys are all gone, and the next kids come in, you know.
That's true. There has to be turnover. Let me ask you, let's roll it back, because I'm sure everybody wants to know, and the story you must have told 40 million times, because you've written bunches of songs, but you know, there's the one song, the song that's going to be, God forbid, you know, it should be 50 years away, but on your tombstone, like, this is the guy who co-wrote I've Had the Time of My Life. Do you remember writing and co-writing that number? Like, who came up with what was it like that morning? We were all like a piano. How did it happen?
Yeah, well, it didn't quite happen that way. Frankie Previtt, one of my co-writers, and Donald Markowitz is the other.
Jew. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Very nice man. Frankie, so two Italians and a Jew come into a bar. No, just kidding. Frankie Previtt was on a record label called Millennium that Jimmy Einer was the head of. Jimmy Einer produced a lot of stuff, the Raspberries, some Three Dog Night, a bunch of things, but he also produced Frankie and the Knockouts, which Frankie was the singer of. Frankie had a couple of hits. Jimmy was the music supervisor for Dirty Dancing, and he called Frankie. Frankie had gotten dropped from the label, Jimmy's label, because Jimmy stopped having a label. He got into film, and so Frankie was working on a new record to try and get a record deal again. And so we actually had written Hungry Eyes together for Frankie's record. And Jimmy called in the midst of our getting songs together and said, I have this movie. The song needs to start out slow. It's the big ending scene needs to start out slow and go into this dance thing. And cited a couple of songs for us to, but he wasn't asking us to do the song. He was asking us to give a shot, put our song in with everybody else. It was a cattle call. It wasn't like we had the gig. So, we started, I started working with Donnie Markowitz because we had been working together, and then I knew he had a drum machine, which was new then. And I figured that was the dance too. We need a drum machine. So I went over to Donnie, and we together put down the music track that you hear, and sent that to Frankie. And Frankie, a lot of top line people, I guess, you put the track in and it gets a mood going, and you start to the music. And that's what Frankie did. And then he wrote the lyrics.
But your input was more than just, hey, let's try the drum machine. What was your input to the song?
Donnie and I
Yeah.
sat at the keyboard. I actually sat at the keyboard, and Donnie said, try this. And I said, try that. And, here comes the B-verse, and here comes the chorus. And then we got
Beavers. There's that kind of movie. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And, Donnie and I worked the music track out together, wrote the music track, right? One of the interesting points in the chorus, because a 1/6, I'm talking musical here. I don't know how musical you are, but the 1 chord to the minor 6 to the 4 to the 5 is a very common, every doo-wop thing in the world has that chord progression. So we went 1 minor 6, and then we went up to the flat 7. And I remember distinctly saying, Donnie, let's just try this. And that sort of gives that, I don't know, it enables that sort of euphoric chorus to take off. Yeah, it's just
It's one little thing. It's one.
And it just forced Frankie to go a certain place. So the music kind of dictates where the melody can go, obviously.
Wow.
And that was our one. And I can't say we said, oh, hey, we're going to do this flat 7 chord, and that's going to make this song. We just did, as musicians do, you just do something and
instinctively, and you follow it, and
you hear it.
30 million copies later, there
Yeah,
you go.
maybe more.
Go
ahead.
Well, no, I just want to remind people, we're talking with John DeNicola, who wrote several of the songs for the movie co-wrote several of the songs from the movie Dirty Dancing, as well as bunches of other tunes. And you were also a musician before that. You toured in the 1980s, 90s with people like Corey Hart and Paul Young. So do you have any stories of just like groupies or touring madness or craziness, or is that overstated?
That's over. Well, I don't know, because I didn't do that much touring. I worked with those artists mostly in the studios and like Today Show. And it wasn't an actual tour. So I have none of those. I never really toured. Maybe I'm lucky. I don't know. I auditioned for Hall & Oates, and I came in second years before all this. Daryl Hall and John Oates, and in a way, I'm thankful I didn't, because that would have taken me down a different path as a sideman. I think as a bass player sideman, as opposed to I got to write songs for these original bands I'm in, and trying to get a record deal. So I feel sort of lucky that I didn't get the touring thing going.
Now, by the way, I should mention that this program was initiated, emerged out of Long Island, starting on a Long Island radio station. You are a Smithtown-y, or were a Smithtown boy. Well, so do you have any memories of Long Island growing up and that area?
Well, I was born in Amityville.
Oh.
I am not the Amityville Horror, as far as I know.
Right.
I lived there till, so that was a profound influence on me, because, your early years, it was elementary school. And then we moved to Centerport, which is near Huntington. And I spent till about 10th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade there. Then I moved to Smithtown. So we moved around. My dad was a builder, so we moved around a lot. But my bands, I played in a band called Sweetback. And we played a lot at a place called Tui's in Setauket, Stony Brook, and so I played everywhere on Long Island. I played.
My father's place in Roslyn. You
Oh
ever-
yes,
Of course.
yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. I played there in an original band called Flight, which was a jazz fusion band, and we got signed to Motown Records and did a record for Motown, and then years later, Erykah Badu sampled one of our songs for her hit Back in the Day.
So there you go. There's another revenue stream that you probably still get a check from, every couple of months.
Yes.
Thank you, Erica. This is,
Yes, thank you, Erykah, and Motown, because she was a Motown artist, and how else would she have found that record?
I know, right? They think about
Yeah.
so. Did you have to give her permission, or just the label do it, or the whoever holds the copy?
No, you can do it. You can
You
do it.
don't
You
have
have
to
to pay. Exactly. Yeah, you can't. Once a song is released, anybody can record it, as long as they're not changing too much.
Now, what was your first
There's no
instrument?
lyrics.
Was it bass or guitar or?
Hey, well, I started out guitar lessons, but then I met two friends of mine. They were brothers, and we had like in 7th grade, we had a mutual interest in playing music, so we started a band. They were both guitarists, so I picked up bass. They were
And
probably
what-
better than me, so.
So in that stage, what kind of bands were you guys all listening to, and what genre would you have?
That's a great question. Way back then, or high
Yeah.
school? God, I don't know if I could. Well, yeah. I'm gonna go with a band called Moby Grape,
Oh, yeah,
Which-
okay, fine, yes.
aforementioned. Traffic, Steve Winwood's Traffic, then Blind Faith, and Cream, The Doors. At that point, that's what we were. But we were doing original music, crazily enough. We didn't start doing cover tunes till we started Sweetback and toward the Long Island tri-state area, I would say. It was initially it was a 7-piece band, and actually our sax player got hired from us out of our band to Billy Joel's band, a guy named Rich Canada.
Oh, my, yeah. He's
yeah.
on some of the, the major.
So, yeah, he played for many years with Billy. But we had a 7-piece band, and we were doing initially, before disco became disco, we were doing what I considered really cool music, Barry White or the Stylistics, and soul, 70s soul
Sure.
that
Yeah.
ended up turning into disco, which wasn't as much fun as we had this guy, in fact, that's the gentleman I was who passed away that I was visiting, but Tim Lawless was our singer, and he was the reason we were so good, because he was this, I don't want to say.
You have like a Barry White kind of a voice. Oh, baby. Oh,
But then,
damn it.
yes.
Yeah, well,
But he could also sing a Ronnie Isley song with a falsetto. So he was
baby. Yes.
No, he was awesome. He was just he did some stuff in the music business, worked with Debbie Gibson and a couple other people, but he never got, we were asked to submit some songs for Tony Otita, who was a manager of Foghat out on Long Island, and we didn't follow up as we should have, and so he never got to where he could have been. He was just a spectacular. So he could do the Barry Whites and then go Earth, Wind and Fire. He could do that too. So Tim was very talented, and then we had a horn section. So and then as music changed, we changed a bit. We went to, I remember in the last few years, we would be doing Steely Dan songs, which nobody else was doing in the clubs, so.
I can't say I'm a big Steely Dan fan.
They're a funny band. I'm finding it's either, wow, Steely Dan, or, yeah, I don't really like Steely Dan. It's a funny thing.
I'm
Wait,
not
what
an
about
Eagles
him, you
person
think?
either. I can leave that whole sort of
What's,
Eagles.
say that again?
Not an Eagles
Oh,
fan
no.
either. The Philadelphia Phillies for sure, but the Eagles not so.
I
No,
love
but
this.
there you go.
But I hear you on the Eagles. I don't know if you probably know the Big Lebowski line, right? Oh, not the Eagles, man. And then the guy throws him out of the car from the Big Lebowski. Yeah. I'm not a huge Eagles fan either, but Steely Dan, I don't know. Maybe they're a musician's band because it's very sophisticated chordally and structurally. And I guess maybe you have to like Donald Fagen's voice. That could be hard.
And Joni Mitchell loves them. I never understood. So she kind of, because maybe the jazz contingent.
Yeah, but yeah, they write some great music. They really do.
All right. Anyway, speaking of music, we're talking, of course, with John DeNicola here. I want to, since you know, I got this and this and this. I'm assuming you're Italian.
Yeah, Italian heritage, yes.
Italian.
Both sides, mom and dad.
Are religious growing up? Not religious. Religious now? Any kind
Um,
of in there, or
You know, early on, you know, I did the thing. My mom, you know, confirmed Catholic, but I wouldn't say I'm religious. I'm I don't know what to say. Spiritual, I guess. I'm.
You're a musician, is it? Yeah.
I'm a musician. I look out around me here. I'm upstate New York, and I look out around and I see the beauty in nature and everything, and it makes me feel like, you know, bound to something greater. So
Boundless, I like that. Boundless. Now, speaking of something greater, you're still doing even getting over COVID. Still doing what you do, still running. Like sometimes, as you said, you're weeks in a studio, sometimes not. Always. Is there a point when you will slow or stop the label or stop discovering new acts or signing people or any of that? Or you're going to do that for another 10, 20 years?
I'm gonna do it as long as I can. It doesn't hurt me to do it. You know, I think it's good for the brain. You know, I'm actually in the studio now, just doing some tracks for my friend who's doing sort of taking some 60s and 70s unsung hits and remaking them, trying to involve the original artist with it.
Ooh.
If can. And so you know, like today I put down a piano yesterday. I'll be putting down a bass part and an organ part, and you know, even some percussion parts. So
when you said that, are you playing the instruments, or are you plugging down somebody else is coming in? You're just at the
no, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I have all those instruments out there, and that's almost my favorite thing to do. It's you know, just put down a interesting new part.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm a bass player by trade, but I can eke out a part on just about any instrument. I have a bass clarinet, I have marimbas, I have a piano, I have an organ.
I have an organ too, but only my wife sees that. But you know,
Yeah.
it's a little comedy right there. So do you, can I ask you, is like the Beatles and George Martin accomplished so much of what they did on like an 8 or maybe at most of 16?
4.
So, four. They were on a 4-track thing.
Started
How
on
many
4.
tracks do you really? Yeah, I'm sure you have a board that goes from here to here. How many of those knobs do you actually use?
Well, unfortunately, you don't even need a board like that. I only have 16-channel board, but with Pro Tools, it's all in the computer. So you could have 64 channels or 80, what you can have as many channels as you want, which I don't really use. I use only what's needed. It depends. I also have a 16-track 2-inch tape machine.
Right.
Because
We're
that's
talking on another website. There was a thing where you've gotten into like reel to reel again. What's up with real? I mean, it's lopsided, like soft. Why are you using this?
I was mixing to reel because it you know, it kind of adds a little bit of sack to, say, the drums and the bass and guitars and stuff. So you still can't beat analog. People use
Really?
use digital because it's more convenient, but analog sounds the best. So even if I record drums to Pro Tools digital, after that session, once I have the drums together, I'll run them through my 16-track 2-inch tape machine just to add that
Really?
analog sound back in.
But you put it on your tape machine, you still have to go back into digital. Does it get lost? Is it?
No.
No,
No, it's still an improvement.
really.
To
Well,
me,
and you can
sonically.
hear it with you don't have deafness residual from your usual musician thing.
No.
You know, you were
No, I mean, I hear it, I feel it. I feel that I'm gonna go with this spiel too.
Sure.
I wish I could find the initial article I read about it, but there's a contention that the human ear retains something that was recorded analog better than it retains something that was recorded digitally. That's why you get kids who still want to hear the Who. Now, they may be listening on a digital thing, but it was recorded analog. And
it makes a difference. It makes a little.
it makes a better imprint on our brains.
And I would
It's
imagine
the theory.
you feel yourself in the studio as opposed to just they would say sterility is the feeling you would get for something that's completely digital, or is that?
Digital, yeah, I mean, how there's so many plugins for digital to try and make it sound like analog. You know what I mean? So they're emulating it. And for instance, I have a reverb unit that came to me a few years ago. It used to be in Motown with Lamont Dozier and Brian Holland's studio. And I knew I wanted one. And I bought it, and the guys who delivered it to me said, yeah, when we picked it up, the guy had a lot of Gladys Knight plaques on the wall. And I said, oh, that's got to be Tony Camillo, because I knew he did a lot of those records, because I knew it came from Jersey. So long story short is it came from Tony's studio, and my mentor for production, Ed Stasium, worked at that studio, and we did the demo for The Time of My Life at that studio back then. And somehow that reverb, so the reverb is from the 50s. It's a 4x8 chunk of metal in a box, and you send the signal to it and it reverberates, and then it picks up mics and send it back. So that in the 50s, that was the first, before that they used rooms, they put a mic in a room.
Bathroom. That's the best place to,
right.
Yeah.
And then this was the first, and so it has a West German thing on it. So it was before the wall was down. It was made. What was my point? Oh, they make a digital plugin of the EMT unit, the one that I have, but it's a digital plugin, and it's really good, really good. But when you hear it compared to the real thing, it's that 10-15%.
Yeah.
It's just a little more. For instance, my wife, who's not in the business, I would come in, I'd play her, so listen to this mix and then listen to this mix. And I go, which one do you like better? She would always choose the one with the real reverb on the vocal.
Yeah, analog reverb. That's
every time. And
wow.
she didn't know. She she has a really good ear. My wife has a really good ear. But
by the way, how did you meet your spouse?
Well, we both were living in West Village. And I was walking to my chiropractor because I went windsurfing and hurt my neck. And I saw her come down the steps, but I didn't say anything the first time. I saw her a couple of times. And another time I was walking home from it, and she was walking her dog. And so I walked ahead of her, slowing down, looking at menus that I really didn't want to see. And I finally had the nerve to, my line was, "Are you married or going out with anyone?" Which was a horrible line.
Oh my God. Wow. What, not even
seemed to work.
hi or the time, or can you recommend one of these restaurants? Like,
Yeah, no,
wow.
it was pretty straightforward. She did say that she felt her dog had always had a sixth sense, and the dog just sat down and laid, just sat there. And so she thought that was a good sign. So
Oh, yay. And how long have you been together? I'm married. How long? For
30 years.
Mazel. What does she do? Is she working, retired, or what does she do?
She's retired. I mean, she was a few things. She was in Kansas, Wichita area. She was a anchor newswoman for a
Oh.
while, a reporter, and then a newswoman for a while. Then she moved to New York, and she was acting. She was working with who's the famous acting teacher?
Stella Adler, Uga Hagen, Herbert Berghoff, the Jewish guy, the other Jewish guy.
Might have been the other Jewish
The other
guy.
Jewish guy.
I can't think of his,
Yeah, all right, but yeah.
can't think of his name. Anyway, but she was married to someone, and and then he passed away, and so she kind of stopped acting, and that's when I ran into her a couple of years after that.
Mazel Miklik. This is a lovely, wonderful, because they warn women about musicians, but you didn't have the typical musician's life.
I didn't. I have to say I was very lucky. I mean, we got in under the limbo bar there because we had a big selling record, and at that time, if we had a big selling album now, streaming, I wouldn't be able to retire, on that. I mean, it's there's no comparison. There's no.
Let me ask you a question. What music do you? We'll just have a minute or two left here with John DeNicola. What music do you listen to these days?
I'm just gonna.
What you're producing? Sorry.
DeNicola. DeNicola.
DeNicola.
Yes.
On that DeNicola.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what was the question?
What bands, what artists, what albums do you have on your playlist? What are you paying for to download, as it were?
I buy records. I buy LPs. I have a LP system in almost every room of my house. So almost anywhere you go, you can pick up an album and put it on somewhere. Well, these days wasn't the last few things I bought. I buy a lot of older stuff that I hadn't heard back in the day. I do in newer artists. I really like Tame Impala, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Alex G. Yeah. I mean, I lately I've been. You were asking me earlier what bands we were into when we were young. I got into Frank Zappa for a while in my high school years, and I've sort of been listening again to him lately, just because I see him in a whole different light now. He was a workaholic. Everything he wrote was written down, scored, everything. And if you ever listen to some of the stuff, he had Ruth Underwood, who was she played,
right?
well, she was a marimba.
Oh, she was marimba. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And
Jean-Luc Ponty was the violin guy.
yeah,
right?
John Ponty, right? It's just astounding. It's astounding he wrote all those notes and the sound of that, and it was even more astounding that she could play it. Just, but it just amazing. And the bands were so tight. What else have I been listening to? A lot of Neil Young.
What era of Zappa have you been like?
I like the early era. I didn't like when he started to do too much silly lyric, I didn't, so.
So you're talking like almost early Zappa mothers, like
yeah,
and
Uncle Mead, the first record, and then like Uncle Mead, and into Weasels Rip My Flesh, Chunga's Revenge. I mean, all that stuff. The Grand Wazoo is just an awesome
Yeah,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah. So you're a Zappa fan?
Yeah, but it also stops kind of, long before ship arriving, too late to save a drowning witch. I'm like, nah, get out.
Yeah. No.
After
Why?
Joe's Garage 2, it was,
You know, he
yeah.
did explain it, and I understand it now. I'm like you, I was like, "Ah, I can't listen to this anymore." He explained in one, I've been watching some of his, I've been going a little bit of a rabbit hole, some of his documentaries, and he was trying to get to the person that wasn't necessarily a musician, or, and so with like a lyric that he thought would draw them in. It was a simple lyric and a simpler melody, but then he'd put this stuff behind it. So he was kind of infiltrating, their psyche by, tricking them into thinking they're listening to something simple when it was very intricate musically behind what he was doing. I guess he felt that was the way to gain a bigger audience. I thought, well, gee, he made it. He was always doing projects that cost a lot of money, because think about it, hiring, the Philharmonic or whatever. So he was always putting a lot of money out. So he wasn't like in the dough. I mean, he was always,
Yeah, I mean, whatever he made plugged back into his art.
Yeah.
I just wish so much more of it were listenable. I mean, this idea of, I can take a guitar solo that I wrote for something else and plug it into an entirely different song, which is theoretically interesting, but musically, like, well, if it's so generic, and the music is, I could listen to either one and they're both boring. So stop.
Right.
That's
So anyway,
who else are you listening to?
who else? Neil Young. I love Neil Young. I mean, he just, you don't like him?
Of course, I love Neil Young.
Love. I mean, did you hear his last? I think it was called Barn.
Barn is already like 5 albums. He puts out like 6 albums a year now. He's just nonstop.
I know, and
not the most recent anymore. But Barn is okay. I like me again. Mostly the older.
Yeah. Of course, that stuff is
a
great.
whole decade of older, from like 1970s. Nobody topped him. Yeah.
Right, but you got to give him kudos for being a 78-year-old man to still do something that sounds contemporary.
True. Absolutely.
Not easy. Not everybody can do that.
No. I mean, Dylan is trying, and much less often and in much weirder ways.
Yeah. That last, I don't know if it's the last record, the one where he kind of talks the whole thing. That long,
rough and rowdy ways.
Yeah.
Better than you ever expected. But come on, think about it. After all those albums of Americana, of the Great American Songbook, where you wonder, okay, he's lost his mind. he's gone around completely around the bend, and then he came back. So who knows? Who knows if that's his last? It may not. You never.
Oh yeah, no, I we don't know. I don't listen to too much Springsteen, but I did buy his last record. And what else? Father John Misty.
Oh, I've heard him. I do not know him. You like the Father John?
No, I think you'd like him. Just from our conversation. It was record Chloe and something really nice. I mean, I didn't realize he came out of Fleet Foxes, if you know the band.
Oh,
Fleet
I've heard of them. Yeah, they're nice. There's a
came
nice,
out of that.
gentle.
Yeah,
I like nice and gentle with my proctologist and my music. It's a theme.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's healthy.
we have been having a nice, gentle conversation with the delightful and talented John DeNicola.
DeNicola.
DeNicola. Yeah.
Think about Nicola, DeNicola, of Nicola, right? Isn't that what that means?
Like the Uncola.
Yeah, exactly.
DeNicola.
There we go.
DeNicola. Like a dagger, like that.
You got it.
John DeNicola.
DeNicola.
I don't know.
DeNicola. You know, that's what that's what when we won the Oscar, Liza Minnelli, she said it just like you did.
Oh, well.
On DeNicola.
I like to call it Liza Minnelli. So there you go. That's how we do it. But anyway, please go. You have a website, right? OMAD Records
omadrecords.com. By the way, OMAD comes from Ordinary Madness, comes from Charles Bukowski. In my younger years, I read a lot of Charles
Of
Bukowski,
course you did. You're a musician. Yeah.
and it kind of stuck. But so it's OMAD, OMAD records.com. And you
this
can
is
see
the
all
place
the
where-
artists we have there.
And the artists that you produce, and also they can get your albums. You have She Said from 2021, and there was one before that, I think from.
The Why Because from 2019, which includes my versions of my co-written songs, Hungry Eyes and The Time of My Life. Time of My Life, we went complete opposite of what the one we all know is. I just took an acoustic guitar and a French horn and sang one verse, one chorus, and that was it.
Well, very McCartney-esque there. We're gonna have to listen to
Yeah,
this.
maybe.
Go get these two albums from John DeNicola. Got it. As well as check out his website for all the others that he's producing, omadrecords.com. John, I must say I have had the time of my life chatting. How many times have you heard that to end an interview? The time of our lives talking with you, enjoying your stories, enjoying your music. It has been a delight to welcome you into the Daverhood. I want to wish you many more years of music and marriage and good, healthy, happy things. And shalom to you.
And to you also. Thanks. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. Bye-bye now. Shalom.
See ya.
John DeNicola, ladies and gentlemen, who I mispronounced for the first hour of the broadcast. I'm so sorry about that, but not sorry that we've had him in the Daverhood here talking to us on this Shabbos morning. omadrecords.com. And I'm mad that I have to leave now, but it's time to bring the program back to Dave and his lovely wife Joyce to do the 914th episode of the show. Meanwhile, I wish I could play something by this man, something by one of his artists, but as he would say, aren't you paying for it? I'm like, no. So not going to download, not going to get into copyright trouble. So I'm going to play my outro music, and Dave will be with you momentarily for the time of your life. Oh, did the soft? Hold on, let me send this. All right, Joyce is pointing out what I did not notice, that that slothy
You're trying the second one.
has been inching down the wall. Why don't you toss it? Why don't you? Joyce is going to toss our sloth walker.
It is both.
So he gets stuck on everything. His balls get stuck. All right, she's going to toss the sloth. Oh, you'll see that one. That's going to be right up there by my head.
That was fun. I can fix the other one.
I hope so, because his
Can you just
ball
hand- can you
arm.
hand them to me? I'll
Yeah,
fix his
yeah.
ball arm.
Wait, let's see. So let's get this.
I
this
have
one.
tape. I can do some sloth repair.
Oh, see, I think that'll dry off. Right?
I don't see anything.
Here we go. Anyway,
Oh, I see. You know what happened? Like,
what happened?
Just it pops open. See, like this.
Oh, so you gotta stick it back in his socket. What did I do? I threw him against the wall. Even before I did that. Oh, look, you're opening up. It goes back in. You did surgery on him. Yay!
Stick it in me while I'm doing it. It's not a.
I know. No, it's like mucilage. Oh, you see, the whole thing opens up. What's wrong with this thing? It's anyway. Yes, tons of fun here in the Daverhood on this October 14th, 2023. So we still have more stuff to do on the program. We have, oh my God, we haven't even done Greeley Times yet. Plus we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will be going to Stonewall, Colorado. And oh boy, let's not forget, we're going to be measuring Dave's bunions on Bunion Watch. What delights we have for you, my friends. Let's see, anything else that we need to talk about? One thing we really actually didn't, the other thing that we didn't really get to mention, because we weren't on the air last week, I had a cold and all stuff was going on. But for the past 3 weeks, I think it is there. Look, no,
Oh,
wait, right there.
it's upside down, you see him?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So, Joyce, I don't know where we didn't get an email on it. We didn't get a phone call. We didn't get an alert on our phones. We just happened to notice from some message on Facebook somewhere that our drinking water
Oh, yeah.
was like poisoned.
Poison, we had a higher level of cryptosporidium.
Yeah, I mean, a very drinkable, manageable level.
It's not poison, poison's different.
But people, it wasn't like Detroit or anything like that. But it was recommended that pregnant.
Fire coming out of them.
What was that?
There was no fire coming out of them.
No. But it was recommended if you're pregnant, if you have certain health conditions, you probably should not just drink the water straight from the tap, especially if you're drinking a lot of it. Using a lot of it.
See, look at this is the shape of the.
Oh, this is sloth shape. Look at that.
it's
Here,
really fun.
I look at, you actually can.
It's cool, right?
It almost looks like a frog there.
That's where we're gonna put them there.
So already we buy bottled water up the wazoo because Joyce will drink. She won't drink from the tap no matter what. Anyway, long before this cryptosporidium thing. Yes, I know that. Right. So, but we use that. But for other stuff like washing vegetables or like the
I wash
coffee,
them every night.
best line of the afternoon would still rely on tap. And suddenly now we have to go like schlepping around for water because and again, it's not as if the government warned us. What?
Friendship is a sheltering tree. That's the
Cool.
quote on your team.
Where did you get the first inkling that cryptosporidium levels were? Because there's always cryptos.
A colleague texted a
Oh.
good chain of us, and one of them was me.
But meanwhile, it's like we don't get like the channel 247 kind of news where we would have naturally heard that. And then, hey, if you're using water locally, Baltimore, Maryland water tells you not to, right? So suddenly, oh, Jesus.
We have a friend who's from here who reads the local paper online, and he found it that way.
Yeah, and it was true. We checked it out, and it turned out that instead of 0.02% cryptosporidium spores microbes in the water, now it went up to like a 1.1, which was a minor health hazard, but nothing to get too worried about. So we did that. We waited and we bought a lot of water. And this was before both of us, because I came down with a backhand cold. Joyce has had a minor one the last couple of days. Who knows? I mean, the one thing thank God, neither of us had was diarrhea. I had a crampy stomach,
I had a crampy stomach too.
but for me, I think it was because I was coughing and sneezing so much. I was just wrenching my stomach and my back. And this was the thing I didn't mention about the Walgreens Sudafed. I didn't poop for 4 days.
Tell me about your whizzing.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. All right, thank you for this. Yes. So I take.
Use this as an example. The prostate.
Oh yes. Okay. So thank you. Go back to this. I take the Sudafed because I do believe in Western. I'm all for holistic things. I'm all for anything that somebody thinks will work. And if you mentally think something will work, it might. So it could be Chinese herbal tea. It could be acupuncture. It could be healing stones.
Look, it took away my migraine.
Yeah. So, but it also gave you a pain. You can barely move your neck.
No, my neck was before that.
Oh, it was before?
Yeah, my neck was like. I used the vibrating balls on my neck before I felt better.
Can we leave our sex life out of the show there? Okay. But so I go from the Walgreens where I buy I talk to this very, very helpful pharmacist behind the counter who gives me the pseuco-Sudafed to take. I pop 2 as soon as I get home. And it tells you don't take more than 8 over the course of a 24-hour period. So I pop 2 And it, it does start to actually work a little bit.
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 hours later, I pop 2 more. And then 5, 6 hours later, I pop 2 more, which is a lot of drugs for me to take. I'm not a drug taking person, but I want to knock this shit out of my face. I want that because I'm like, sneezing and
We're uncomfortable.
my swallowing got better like the day later. That was the only good thing. I had a sore throat.
If we go
But the
to get bagels later, I want to pop in and get hot dogs. too.
Yes, definitely. So, but the first day when I was teaching, that was rough. That when it
I made you
hurts.
tea like
Just-
peppermint tea
yeah.
and it.
After that, I had post-nasal drip. I had sore throat and stuff, but it didn't hurt. It was just like, and obviously phlegm and coughing up stuff. So she gives me this decongestant. I take 6 of them over a 24-hour period. After that, for 3 more days,
Use your example.
old Dave, who is as regular as, I don't know, the milkman back in the old days,
Yeah.
that could rely on him. Oh, nothing coming out of the
Here you
poop
go.
chute. And nothing, shit did not happen to poor Dave.
He said poop, he doesn't say shit.
Well, what happened was even scarier, like that first night
Yeah.
when I was taking this stuff.
I want
So it
you
would have been Friday.
Emulate it here.
Wait. Yes, thank you, yes. This has not happened. I was reminded-
Used to shake.
I was reminded for the first time really in my life that I'm a 59-year-old man who owns a prostate. Has never, thank God, never been a thing for me. I'm at that age where sometimes I feel that little urge and I feel like, oh crap, maybe I made a drop or 2 in my undies. I haven't let loose. I haven't turned into the old man, but it's like, I have to go. And I think I might have just,
Tingle,
had a
mental tingle.
little teeny weeny drop or 2,
Aw,
but
free tinkle.
nothing more than that. This time, after those 6 fake Sudafed, the wall of
Generic,
Fed,
generic.
Genera Fed that I took. And so here's the deal. I'm trying to sleep through the night. It was a bad night, and I'm trying to sleep through it, but not really sleeping. And there was a point in the middle of the night where every 10 to 15 minutes, I was like, oh my God, I really have to go. I have to go to the bathroom. So I jump out, and we're in separate rooms because we're not 100% sure I don't have COVID, and I don't want to give whatever a head cold is to her anyway. So I'm jumping out of bed and I'm heading over to the bathroom. Like I have to, I have to go to the bathroom. And I stand in the bathroom, and it's that old man thing at the urinal. I'm there and I feel it. I have to go, and I feel this buildup and real discomfort. And I'm looking down and ain't nothing coming out. I'm like, I had to pee. I was gonna pee in the bed. Why the fuck am I standing here? And it's like, looking at my ding dong, looking at my, probably more like this actually, probably a bit more like this. And like, why is nothing? And it's real discomfort. I'm like, oh my God, whatever I have, is it COVID again? Is it going to now affect my prostate? And then I stand there for another minute or 2, and thank goodness I feel like drip, 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 a little bit of pish. I'm like, oh, thank God, something came out of me. And then I go flush the toilet, and I go back to bed. And then 10 minutes later, it's like, oh God, I was drinking all night. I was drinking all night. No, I was having water.
You weren't drinking enough to have that response.
Exactly. I was not drinking like you do, where you're just flushing out the system. I have like a half a little cup of water and drink it. But the medicine man, it does something to your prostate.
I wouldn't know.
Who knew? Yeah, right.
That's
No.
something I wouldn't know.
But watch out for that, guys. Like it does say, if you go Googling, if you have prostate issues, you're taking prostate medicine, you gotta watch out if you take Sudafed. But I didn't.
David, did I miss Bunny Alert?
We haven't done one yet. Watch it. So yeah. So there was that. There was that added to Dave's wonderful week of this sudden worry of, oh my God, is pishing gonna be now another, along with the tinnitus in my ear and my deafness, along with, getting the cold, along with that palate, along with all the bags under the eyes, along with male pattern baldness. Now, oh, I've got the old man's disease of standing at a fucking urinal for 3 minutes while I'm hearing, like, I'm not in New York going to the theater anymore, but like hearing, please come back to your seats. The show is starting in 2 minutes. I can't, I'm waiting.
Whatever.
Dick, work.
Remember, like the waiter in the Woodrow, he would just whistle as he walked around.
I could do that.
So while you work.
But this, and I started to think, maybe I should really go and buy a pair, because it was very funny. Like when we shopped at Wegmans at Hunt Valley the day before,
So like.
there was a guy, I was maybe in a
no,
different
no,
place.
He was buying for his wife.
Yeah, it was or we might have been Growls or somewhere where he grabbed like this giant bag, just threw it on the conveyor angrily, and it was adult diapers.
It was bad.
He was, well, if I had to buy that too.
Walgreens, I think it was
Walgreens, but he was like, he was waiting. Well, there was a little wait for the
Yeah.
counter people at the Walgreens,
Yeah.
and so he just took these adult diapers, he threw them down on the counter like angrily. It's like, of all the things, if I were buying adult diapers, I would be a lot more discreet about it. I think
I know.
I would be like, here.
No, I think what you didn't see was there was a small woman with him. I think he was buying them for her. They were
Maybe.
ladies' diapers. And I think he
Oh, he was, yeah, because he slams down the
who knows
diapers.
what their dynamic was, right?
But ironically, 2 days later, that night, or
Was it a harbinger?
it was a harbinger of like, maybe I should buy, just in case, a box of, depends of, as my friend used to call them, dignity pants. That was the name for them. There was a commercial thing for dignity pants.
But it does give you dignity. If you can't control your whiz, then you can
Hot dignity, yeah. Well, I guess. I mean, it's better than like, spreading spot all over your pants. So like, it's like a shagger. Oh no, it's not.
I know. I was
So-
sick at the gym. I thought, don't pee at the gym. I'm sure people pee at the gym though.
I'm sure I farted. When what's his name? When we used to get massages from the guy in Colorado.
Really, Mike?
One time I said, "Oh, it's like,
Oh, no.
it's coming. I'm sorry,
Did you
man."
warn
I warned him. And he said it happens, And then I shat. And he said, "No, that doesn't.
him? That doesn't,
Don't ever come back." No. But I did. I farted.
that explains.
Does he
a lot.
do?
That
Does it? Yeah.
And I used to let you go first. Oh, God.
What? You've never walked behind me when I farted? We both know what our farts mutually sound like, We've done the Dutch oven thing.
Please,
We've
Dave,
had
please,
every.
I'll vomit. I'm gonna vomit.
All right. We've done that too. I've seen you do it. You've seen me do it. It's been fun.
Oh, life.
Mm.
Do your bunion alert, bunion watch.
Yeah. The other thing that I tolerate, thank goodness that
Oh,
is
the
not.
guy flipped over,
painful.
they're both facing forward.
Oh, they go.
Yeah, he flipped
Oh, I didn't
forward.
know they did that. They go like
Yeah, look,
end to
yeah,
end.
he flipped forward, he was on the top.
Oh,
one.
so they don't just slide down.
On
They
the
go.
top
Whoop.
one, we only saw his back, now we see his
Whoa.
front, see?
I'm gonna go back and watch the show. Like, I guess he should not have his midriff like that. I don't know why that happened.
I tucked the other one in, but
I can see
anyway,
that.
that guy was faced and I saw his back, now we see their little sloth faces.
It's so cool. All right, now you're gonna see. We're gonna go down to
You get your
defeat.
pain scale.
So here's the deal. We were talking about what brought this up in the first place.
I think when you first started teaching, you had the bunion pad.
Oh, because of the
Now you
shoes.
brand.
Yeah. So about when the semester first started a few weeks back, and I put on new shoes that the brand I've worn forever. I've never had a problem. These shoes fucking killed me. And so I wore like moleskin bunion things.
They were great.
And it made me talk about bunions. So I'm like, you know what? And it really rubbed me raw, which is usually fun.
We want
But-
to give an update
Yeah. So every week
and educate people.
we do bunion watch where I give a pain scale of my bunions. I should also measure. I should actually have a measuring tape to show you the condition of my bunions. But ladies and gentlemen, what's really special this week is not just that we've had John DeNicola on the show, but, oh wait, where is it? Where is it? Get ready. We actually have theme music this week. Our brand new official theme music for Bunion Watch.
Listen, doctor, to my plea. It's time for bunionectomy.
Oh,
Feet of mine have got to go. Please get these bunions off my toes. My alcohol would rub beside my alcohol. Bunions, bunions, painful, painful. Bunions, bunions, painful, painful. Bunions, bunions.
So ladies and gentlemen,
Painful, painful.
so my bunions are not painful, thank goodness. On the pain scale, let me make sure I put these back. I'll move my, so you can also watch the sloth. So let us look at Dave's bunions this week. Here we go. I should do it to the side though, like this. Time for a bunion watch. Oh, there he is. Look at it. And this is not the bunion that had the problem, by the way. Yeah. Thank you. This bunion, which is the bigger bunion of my foot, actually was fine. It was this bunion.
Oh, David, look, you got a huge lintel.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wear white socks.
You got a huge
Yeah.
lintel.
Oh, yeah.
Both
So
of you
foot
got a
fetishes
lot of
enjoy.
lintels.
What?
You got a lot of lintels.
I do. But here are the bunions. So this was the bunion that had the sore on it for like 3 weeks. This foot actually, freaking killed me while I was teaching. But on the bunion pain scale.
Where are you falling
Oh,
today?
totally here.
Whoa, happy?
So happy,
Whoa.
clean, pure, beautiful bunion. Not even red. This one gets red all the time. This one isn't even red. Look at them. Let's make them kiss. Aw, bunion hug. There you go. Oh yeah. But it's funny, the nasty looking one wasn't just giving me a problem. I mean, it does give you a hammer toe, but thank goodness I'm not at that stage of.
You don't feel like.
Yeah. I can't really show, unfortunately, I can't show bunions from the other side. So there's one. There you can see it. Look at that. Look at that puppy right there. And here's my other, like the bunion. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's what I see when I look down at my feet. I see that fucking tumor thing right there. Look at that. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
hammer toe, I think.
Old Dave is a freak of nature, ladies and gentlemen.
But you have no pain, so that's.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was this week's Bunion Watch. Oh,
Bunions, bunions, painful, painful. Bunions, bunions, painful, painful. Bunions, bunions, painful, painful.
pretty great, huh? Yeah.
Like it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, it is a little bit after 11 o'clock Eastern time here in the Daverhood. You're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Leftowitz, and my darling and wonderful wife, Joyce. It's our 914th episode. Looked over, of course, by the great Melvin G. Mintz and the, rather angry at the moment, Lubavitcher Rebbe, for obvious
And what
reasons.
about the two sloths?
And by two sloths, has he crawled down?
He
He's still
fell
has his
backward
back.
again.
He hasn't really moved. He's kind of been sitting there. So we have not yet done Greeley Times.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we've done Bunion Watch and we still have our Colorado Limerick to go. But it's time for time. It's time to tell you of what has been going on in Greeley, Colorado, a place where Joyce and I lived for a bunch of years, and where we read the daily newspaper called the Greeley Tribune. Here's the classic front page. This is real, folks.
Give a shout out to Wendy who's ill, and
Well, yeah.
they're the ones who sent us that page.
Oh, that's true. We do want to send, as a friend of the neighborhood, we have two wonderful friends from Colorado, Fred and Wendy. They've been on the show a few times, especially when we were
Quiz, they're excellent quiz players.
players. And they used to come on our New Year's show when we were living in
All the
Colorado.
time.
So Wendy has various health issues. And on top of all that, she broke her arm last week.
Yeah, oh,
So,
God.
it's just one of those things. So we wish her obviously a recovery, a smooth recovery as best it can be, and everything else. Just not good, not a great time for anybody. Anyway, but it's a good time for Greeley Times phone calls that come in to the Greeley, northern Colorado, like Evans and other counties, police dispatch from folks who are worried about things that are going on in their neighborhoods. The funniest ones are compiled by the Tribune. For a while, it was Morgan McKenzie. Now it's someone there named Chris Bolin, who is doing the honors. Either way, it's Greeley Times. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Times used to be Old Times, but as we've been saying, the fellow who did that column passed away a few weeks ago. So we miss Mike Peters. But thank you to Morgan and to Chris for putting these in the paper. For example, a caller on 14th Avenue reported being annoyed with a neighbor who rode a one-wheeled electric skateboard around the neighborhood. All right.
One wheel?
One wheel, one of those electric, walked his dog without a leash and brushed his dog's hair in the yard, leaving hair in the yard. Rather interesting neighbor, I must say. I'm doing all these things.
He's just living his life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you should do those things.
And I would rather brush my dog's hair in the yard
Than in the house.
than in the house. Of course I would do that. As a matter of fact, one thing I always promise myself I'll do, and I don't, is shave outside. So that way my little pubic hairs don't go in the sink. They just go on the lawn somewhere or the porch. I just don't remember to do it. I have a mirror out there, but I would. I was feeling, and then I would trim my pubes
Honey.
outside. Yes, I would. Just like snip, snip, bang, bang, little shaver. When I have to nair my legs, what happened?
My stomach went whoop, like that. It was class.
There you go. A woman on 17th Street said that she woke up and noticed her car was gone, items from her purse were missing, and her laptop was in the backyard.
That's a party.
I mean, it's the one thing that you would figure they would
Yeah, laptop.
take it was left in the backyard.
That's called, a lot of people,
A party, yeah.
no, a lot of people, there's a thing on Amazon where people are like either drunk or high and they order stuff and they forget what they did. So I wonder if she just,
Because
that's a party.
this is it. Oh man. Anyway, a caller on 10th Street. Oops, hello. Reported a fraud. She then went on to say, "Oh, yeah, a fraud, fine. Fraud was
In
committed."
general.
Oh, she got specific. She then went on to say that Warner Brothers was filming her,
Oh, yeah.
and she was looking for her daughter, and her family was harassing her.
Wow.
So
Damn.
that's a reality show right in her own head.
That's a reality show for sure.
Anyway, come on, I'm trying to find one that's really funny. There's a caller on 34th Avenue reported driving into someone's backyard.
Whoops.
Well, it was nice of them to call,
I'm here.
because anybody else would be like, okay, I'm in someone's backyard.
Yeah,
Let
but
me-
you probably can't get out. If you've driven into the yard, you probably drove through a fence or your own grass.
Well, that's different. I mean,
Yeah.
if you knocked over a fence is one thing. If you just
Yeah,
kind
I
of,
think when you say you've driven into someone's backyard, it means you didn't want to go there.
oh, well, yeah.
I don't think it's like you just parked there like at the Oregon Hill.
Yeah, but
Festival.
really, remember they had these like back alleyway things and
No,
they
I
had
don't
these
think that's
side
what they're
streets.
talking about.
No, you think they bashed through a
I
fence or
think,
a garage or
Yeah,
it could be.
at
It
least
could
it
be.
wasn't in somebody's house.
Yeah, they would probably have a different phone calls. I've just driven into the kitchen of
Yes.
some.
Yeah, they're making muffins.
A caller at a park on 41st Avenue
Yeah.
reporting a shirtless man
Woo,
was under the influence and
Yeah.
climbing trees.
there you go.
Yeah, him, Tarzan, you busybody.
Yeah. I like that.
I mean, I guess we're allowed to climb trees in the local park.
I never saw a sign against it, but I never really would think to do it. So that's an enigma.
No, enigma is when you have a blockage and they take the long tube and they put it in your ass.
So
and
that's
shoot.
an enigma.
Oh, that's the enema. I thought that's the opposite of your friend.
That's your enemy
See,
or your frenemy.
friend. All right, I'll come back to some Greeley Times crimes,
Okay.
but let's go elsewhere.
Okay.
Because one of the fun things that we have is also when we get news from that isn't in Colorado, but it's also worth talking about. It's also worth bringing up because it's so weird and ridiculous. For example, perfect timing. Here we go. As reported in the New York Post a couple of weeks ago, with the headline, "Bummer, nearly 4,000 people are hospitalized with foreign objects in their rectum each year, according to a new study." This is from a new study in the American Journal of Emergency Medicine. I love that it's yeah, it's an emergency. Yeah, it was an accident. Now it's gonna. And you may be shocked about this, but many of the items are sexual. So, researchers analyzed emergency reports. I love that there are universities like analyzing this
Hey, everybody's got to get grant funding, you know?
from 2012 to 2021. So like almost a 10-year span
Wow.
to get, quote, the first nationally representative
Oh,
data
come on.
on rectal foreign bodies in the US. Oh yeah.
What
Oh,
are the most common?
Here we go. Well, they found based on 900 cases. I see this. Okay. Based on 900 cases, nearly 40,000 emergencies by party poopers older than 15. I don't get it.
This misreporting.
How can you have
Yeah.
900 cases unless those 900 people are really, really, really active? I don't get it.
So what do they find?
All right, over half the foreign bodies were sexual objects, such as vibrators, anal beads, etc. Don't you love the fact that, thank you, Howard Stern, we live in a time when you can open up the daily newspaper and read the phrase anal beads.
What's my horoscope today? Shut up, I'm reading about the anal beads.
I love it. Balls and marbles.
Oh, God.
Marbles, you figure. I'm getting Aggie. And drugs were on the list.
Oh, but that's like if you're a mule man.
What percentage do you think were men versus women?
70% men.
75% men. Yep, 3/4 were men.
They're not stupid.
Or desperate or something. And what was the average age? Not the mean, the median, the average.
The average was kids, right? Teens, so probably 23.
No, 43.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for older guys, the lonely, the whatever, the gay, they're like, well, what will make me feel good tonight? I think I'll just jump onto the vacuum cleaner
Let me tell
handle.
you something, like if you do that and you go to the ER, you're not gonna feel good. You're gonna be
No.
embarrassed.
Well, yeah.
You're gonna be embarrassed.
Now, the authors noted that until this study, the subject has gotten relatively little research. Yeah, why? I wonder why.
Because it's socially embarrassing.
Underreportage, perhaps?
Yeah.
In April, the Visual Journal of Emergency Surgery reported a
Visual
man.
journal,
The Visual Journal.
so they're showing pictures of this.
Oh God,
Yes,
again.
yes.
Hey, we probably have access
I'm
because
sure we don't know
we're
if it's-
scholars.
It sounds like it's a predatory.
Oh,
journal.
can you find that? Oh,
I
really?
don't know.
Check Google Scholar for this. Reporting a man being brought into emergency surgery. And again, I may have rephrased this.
What happened?
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah, and look, he just flipped over.
That one flipped.
No, the top one just
Oh,
flipped.
that one
Yeah.
flipped again.
Look at him, he just, he went clap, you said of surgery, and he went clap.
Clap. Well.
He looks like a man with his undershirt sticking out, one on top.
There he is. Yeah, it's very cute. All right. The Visual Journal of Emergency Surgery reported a man being taken to emergency surgery after getting a can of
A can of what, honey?
deodorant stuck up his ass.
Why would you, God? That's painful.
I don't know. It must be extra painful because it was Axe deodorant.
Oh.
No, I can't. No, I don't.
But it also must have been smelly, like with some kind of, I don't.
Well, it probably smelled pretty good. Every time he farted, it's like.
Could you imagine being Yeah, I could gastroenterologist, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, you really, yeah, you don't think so? Yeah. Oh, God. And last year, so this was one guy with deodorant, a can of deodorant in his ass.
Yeah.
And last year, an old Frenchman presented, I love this word, he presented.
No, that's what they say,
Yeah.
like, so doctors will say the person presented with coughing and sneezing, it means the symptoms are showing.
Yeah, he did not present with a cough or a sneeze. He presented with a World War I artillery shell
Oh my God,
lodged in his rectum.
was it active?
Well, it caused the hospital to be partially evacuated over a bomb scare.
Because it could blow up.
Of course, it's more like a
In
bum
him,
scare.
Yeah, but in him, it could blow up.
Yeah, exactly. Of course,
He's
they had
lucky-
to check.
He's lucky he didn't blow up.
Oh, God. I just love, like, how do you, and, you know, it's just this thing of like, oops,
No,
I was fixing chips and dip.
No, but if they were taking him to like get an MRI, that would like, you can't have metal in an MRI. So if they were X-raying, he's
Okay.
fine, but let's say they wanted to do like an MRI or something, it could have blown him to bits.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, that's why I'm sure they do x-rays first, so they kind of go in there with a, what do they use? Like a speculum. What the hell do you open up
I
the,
don't know.
the thing with there?
He had to disclose that, because that's the dangerous thing.
But I just, I love it. I have something about the deodorant of the guy's ass is
Well,
so,
because it's like the opposite, so it's something like you're putting deodorant on a place that's pretty stinky.
right,
You know,
yeah.
It's like putting Lysol or something, it's like this. And
It's like Old Spice,
Yes.
in a place where you don't want anything old or spicy. You know?
Or like sriracha powder syrup would be.
It's like,
fine.
oh, they called it brute. Oh, I know why. Oh, my goodness. Anywho, one, I of course have to read the comment. And when it's posted in the New York Post,
Oh, my
half the
goodness.
fun is reading the comments. So comment after this story. Quote, I worked for a health insurance company many years ago and had an ER bill for someone who accidentally sat on, what do you think?
Poodle.
Oh, God. Wow. Wow, you're sicker than I am. No. Well, you're
Chipmunks.
verbally, you were close there for a moment.
Poodle, puddle, noodle, doodle, poodle. Potato?
They accidentally
Yes.
sat on a potato.
But potatoes are nice in your butt. They wouldn't hurt you.
Maybe a sweet potato because they're more long and
Oh, yeah.
elongated. A regular, like that big
Oh,
potato we made
God.
last.
Oh, no, that would
2
be
nights
bad,
ago.
yeah. But
It was
I'm thinking
enormous.
Thinking of those little teeny.
Oh, the little, yeah, those little mini ones.
Yeah.
Those might be nice. You pop them in like anal beads. And you hold them in long enough, they come out like tater tots. Or if a woman doing it, you call them tater twats. But ladies and gentlemen, true story from the annals and the annals of the New York Post. So we go back now, rather gratefully, to what's our other elsewhere? We'll save that. Oh, I think we'll save that. Let's do this one though. Here's more Greeley crime to finish out Greeley Times for this Saturday morning. A caller near 83rd Avenue said, oh, can you get that, Herman? I think it's a caller from 83rd Avenue. He said he was shoveling something in a field.
Oh, no. Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, or he said like a man was shoveling something in the
Oh,
field.
okay.
And it's only two possible things they could be shoveling.
Look at him
None of
sticking
them
his
could.
belly out. Look at them.
Oh,
First they start when the belly sticks out. Now they're
Yeah.
facing backward again. Look.
yeah.
Look,
Well,
see,
he's behind my chair. You can't really see
yeah,
him.
he fell back too. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, and I'm sorry.
Slow
So
fun.
a man on 83rd Street saw another man shoveling something.
And you know, when you see a guy shoveling in the middle of it
What
can't
does he
be
think,
good.
like a grave? Or
It
what?
could be that, could be shit. We don't
What was
know.
he thinking, like,
If you're shoveling something in a field,
that's
probably
all it was? There was no more details?
no more detail. You know how these are. No more details on it. A caller on 8th Avenue reported. Oh yeah. A man acting strange while pointing a rifle down the street.
That's bad.
I think that's strange enough.
Yeah, that's you need to report.
Yeah, I wish that you could just like cut that down. I'm always telling my
Yes,
students
yes.
to edit and
Yes.
prune. You can just say reported a man pointing a rifle down the street. That would be enough. I would get the cops out there immediately. A caller near 8th Avenue said, another caller near 8th Avenue, said that a woman was hitting windows with a screwdriver and stabbing the brick building. Well, the building cheated on her, apparently. So
She's
she
having a
was,
bad day.
yeah.
A bad day.
talk about it.
I think her prostate made her not paying properly.
And then, let's see, we have, what do I have this? A caller, one more, a caller on 14th Avenue said, and we're going to dedicate this one to, this isn't Pooey, what's his name? We never remember, it was Happy, I think,
Yeah,
We-
happens,
we didn't-
happens.
happened, sure. So, caller on 14th Avenue, oh, he's so cute. And he's also,
I think
accessing
the
ear
thing's
cleaner.
gonna flip again, see,
He's getting in flip
you see
mode?
when they get in when the tummy gets like that, you see it sticks out like the
Yeah.
butt or the tummy,
He's gonna flip?
yeah, I think it's gonna,
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I'll watch it, I'll just yell when it flips.
I'll try and move my head so you can watch him. And also hold Happy up. So a caller on 14th Avenue said a man in knee-high socks let his dog poop in a neighbor's yard.
Why is the knee-high socks important?
Well, I'm wondering how deep is the poop in his own yard that he has to wear knee-high socks now? It's like, are they just caked in brown from the heels down? No, he didn't flip. Anyway, those, my friends, are some criminalities from Greeley Times, or I should say, just Greeley Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
Oh, he was not.
I'm sure that you agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
FBI. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's in the Daverhood. That's where we are every Saturday from 9 until noonish or thereabouts. Remember that if you want to know more about the program, go to our website, davesgoneby.com. DAVESGONEBY. Davesgoneby.com. Not only does that tell you about the program, but you can listen to or watch all the shows that we've been doing for 20. Oh my God. You know, we missed because we weren't on last week. Last week, October 7th,
Yeah,
we first went on the air October 6th, 2002. So we missed the 21st anniversary, kind of the program. We've been on the air now 21 years. Whoa. No shit. Huh? Pretty cool. So yeah, it's been 21 years. We have the first episode we ever did. Of course, we're on the radio for the first 15 years. So all of those are audio
well,
only.
I saw Trevor
Yeah.
at the old station, on the radio station, and he now puts the thing saying, I do not own any rights to this music, and he has a whole thing about, like the statements, whatever, something shook down.
Who
Shook up,
knows?
shook
Who
down.
knows? With terrestrial radio,
Yeah.
they're gonna take AM radio out of the cars anyway. So,
Yeah, what's up with that?
but anywho, so I did start on WGBB back on Long Island in October of
You do
2002.
Facebook Live now from YouTube, from.
He does.
From Zoom, you.
Oh, well, of course, yeah. I've been doing that for about 4 or 5 years. For a while, I was on college radio, and we started doing it while we were still on college radio. We started the Facebook broadcast at the same time. So, but that's what we do now. But whether you want to watch the last couple of years of video,
Or you want to look for specific, like, let's say you want to see the guest from today, or you want to see a certain guest, or you want to see a certain interview, you could.
Google. I mean, literally, there's a search box on
On
davesgoneby.com.
your website.
Call it right up. Just type it in, type the name.
What's the other site?
Well, the other site is archive.org, archive.org. It's not, that site I have no affiliation with, except we have a channel there.
On there,
Yeah, and you
it's free for people. Both are
absolutely
free. Both are free.
completely free.
Yeah.
So whether, the nice thing about archive.org is it's this giant website of old time radio, old time TV, and books and literature and whatever's in the public domain or made available. And we're on there too. We have our channel of all our interviews and all our episodes, just like we have them on davesgoneby.com. In recent times, the sound and audio quality actually on archive.org is a little better because we can upload, what do you call it, more bytes in the files. So that's been a wonderful thing.
Great.
And if you're just into the audio, remember that you can
Like
download.
if you're driving or you're on your doing exercises or something,
Where can you go?
you say it, I can't.
Castbox.fm.
Oh,
Castbox.fm. It's now, even though we've been doing video now for 4 or 5 years, it's audio there only, but you still get all our archived programs. So if you want to go around and not watch your screen.
Our friend did it when he used to work from home, and sometimes he needed a break, so he would
Yeah,
listen to it.
He listened to the
audio.
program.
Yeah.
Right. I wish he's still working. Well, he's retired, so he doesn't have to. But yeah, so castbox.fm for that. We also have a YouTube channel, Dave's Gone By. Plus, we of course have we now have Instagram. David.Leftowitz is our Instagram. We have Twitter, well, X.
You do LinkedIn, you do everything.
I have LinkedIn,
You're
that's
really
right.
good with social
Yeah.
media.
Well, I do not have TikTok at this point, and do not have what
Twitch
else?
or whatever it is.
Twitch or Mastodon, all these fucking things. I can't. I should hire somebody for like $10 an hour and just put that crap out there. So that I have a few thousand listeners instead of a few hundred. But still, it's nice what we got. And
Is it time for Limerick of the Dam? And then we go and eat our bagels?
no, not yet, because we still have our friends of the Daverhood and then the Colorado Limerick. But I want to tell people that these are all the different ways to get in touch with the show. Remember, you can email me, davesgoneby@aol.com is the place you can do that. davesgoneby@aol.com. Radio Dave 2 is our Twitter feed. And and again, we have Instagram now. We have a X/Twitter. We have YouTube. Lots of places to find Dave's Gone By. But remember, our Facebook page and davesgoneby.com are really the first places to start. Well, it's about a little after 11:30 in the morning Eastern time. And as Joyce mentioned, we do have a horrible, disgusting limerick coming up for you for Stonewall, Colorado. And I'm not stonewalling, I'm just delaying a little bit because we also have to thank some folks and talk about people who have been on this program in months and years past. And we want to let you know what they've been up to. So first of all, let's talk about the friends of the Daverhood who are, here today. So of course we had John DeNicola, the creator of, co-creator of I've Had the Time of My Life and Hungry Eyes and a bunch of other songs and albums. He's also a producer at OMAD Records. So please go to omadrecords.com and buy his recent work and buy some of the artists that he is producing and playing instruments for on their records, and support, really support local and artists in this crazy time of trying to sell and make music, right? So John DeNicola, apologies for mispronouncing his name for most of the show.
What was it?
John, well, I went DeNicola, I don't
Oh,
know, but it's DeNicola is his name. And really nice guy, omadrecords.com. Thank you, by the way, also to Benjamin Franklin for arranging that interview. Really appreciate it. Thank you to Rabbi Sol Solomon for doing the interview. Now remember, Rabbi Sol has his website, shalomdammit.com. Shalom, DAMMIT. Shalomdammit.com.
Someone's falling.
Violence falling. Oh, do you fall on the floor? He's unlatching as we speak.
He's holding on by one. You could do it, I'll yell.
Yeah, yell out when
He's
you know.
got one ball, just left or right ball.
So obviously, if you want to hear the rabbi's thoughts on the Middle East, there's plenty of ways to do that by going to shalomdammit.com. He's done a few rabbinical reflections about it over the years. You can also hear his see his brilliant one-man show, Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Sol.
Oh.
So I heard it. They flop out.
Look.
Look at that. Oh, there it goes. So cool. His one-man show off Broadway was videotaped by our mutual friend Evan Seplow, and has been posted there. So you can watch it at any time. And one of the climactic songs is a whole tale of the history of Israel, which you're probably going to want to hear. And it's to the music of Woody Guthrie's "This Land Is Your Land." I posted that clip on the Rabbi's Facebook page. So if you want to just scroll down, you can find it. Or go to shalomdammit.com and hear the Rabbi weigh in, as he has been for many, many years, as nothing ever changes. Anyway, those are the two folks who have been on the program today. What about people who've been on this show in months and years past? Yeah, we have had, congratulations, first of all, to, speaking of theater writers, Frank Wildhorn, who created your favorite Broadway musical, Jekyll and Hyde. We told the story of that one.
Somebody's got to write it, yeah.
And he's done some other Broadway shows as well, and shows all over the world. But he has a new show. It's called Death Note, the musical. It was with featuring our friend Adam Pascal. It was filmed at the London Palladium, and Ghostlight Records is recording it, and they're going to put out the album pretty soon. Death Note, the musical. Ooh. And we do have to give a shout out of condolences, I should say, to actress Beth Malone, Colorado actress, like one of UNC's shining lights. She lost her father, Billy, a week ago Friday. So sadness on her part. But congratulations to Nancy Redmond. She was a wonderful guest just a couple of weeks ago. Her show, A Seance with Mom, is a special award nominee for the 2023 United Solo Festival.
Good for her. You go, Nancy.
Yeah, and that was the one where I got best script for Miracle of Long Johns. So
You brought her love.
now she is up against Charles Bush and his show Leading Lady. So they're both up for the same award at the United Solo.
Get ugly.
So and congratulations to both of them, of course. Want to let you know that tomorrow, Carol and Paula together again. Our great friend Carol Demas and Paula are going to be doing the Magic Garden Friends Forever.
There was no pig in the magical garden.
Wasn't there? They had
There was probably ganja, but there was no pig.
That's at the Patchogue Theater, by the way. Oh, and speaking of which, by the way, I literally looked that up because I saw something on the web. It was a few months back, but they had like a coffee thing with the two stars of the new Zoo Review.
Come right at you.
It's the new Zoo Review. I remember that. They had the guy.
Henrietta Hippo, I remember.
Henry and the frog, the big frog.
Yeah.
He was scary, but they're fine. The couple who did the show, there were a couple back then. They've been married for years, and they're still together, and they look great. You know, they're late 70s now.
Awesome.
Because they were sort of hippie-ish. She had those weird glasses, and she was cute. And she wore these like weird mini dress thing. They're alive. They're well.
Maybe we should send them the sloths. They might enjoy that.
It's the new Zoo Review. But we have had Carol from Carol and Paula of the Zoo Review of Magic Garden on the program, and she is going to be appearing with Paula
So cool.
tomorrow at the Patchogue Theater. You can come out, bring the kids, bring everybody. On also tomorrow, Sunday, Richard Battier, Indefatigable Man. His 7th novel is being published by Bordighera Press. Bordighera Press. The novel's called She's Not There. So give it a read. Buy the thing from our playwright and novelist friend Richard Battier. And also tomorrow, Gary Lucas, the brilliant musician, is going to be playing music for Written on the Body. This is 3 short avant-garde films by women, including one from Maya Deren. So some major people. It is being done at Roulette in New York. I don't know where that is. I think it's downtown. But Gary Lucas, also Indefatigable, always playing music, always doing stuff. On Monday, I haven't heard this name in a while. Maud Maggart is appearing at Birdland.
She's the sister of Theo.
She is indeed talented in her own right.
Different sisters.
Well, they're both singers. They're both, but Yeah, she will be at Birdland on Monday. And then also on Monday, KT Sullivan, of course, holds court at the Algonquin Hotel over on West 44th Street in Manhattan. And then starting on Tuesday and running through middle of November at the Castillo Theater, all the way over on 11th Avenue and 42nd Street, a new play called Telling Tales Out of School that will be directed by our friend Woody King Jr. of the New Federal Theater. I don't know if he's still alive. I think he's no longer, he stepped down from the New Federal Theater, but he's directing, so he could direct. And he's directing this play, Telling Tales Out of School at the Castillo. Lucy Kaplansky is at Landmark on Main. Oh, when was that?
The one on top just went forward.
Oh, there he is.
He's like, wow, he likes Lucy.
Who doesn't like Lucy Kaplansky? See her at Landmark on Main in Port Washington, New York. That is happening on the 19th. Playing now through November 19th is Lee Blessing's play Down the Road. They're doing it off Broadway at Arts on Site at 12 St. Mark's Place. It's a pretty good play too. So you should, it's about this couple that are writers and journalists and they're investigating a serial killer. It's a pretty good show. So go see Down the Road by Lee Blessing at 12 St. Mark's Place. And then Neil Berg and Robert Shenkan, congratulations to them. They got a really, really good review. I think it was from the Hartford Courant for their musical, The 12, being done kind of as an oratorio at Goodspeed Musicals over in East Haddam, Connecticut, running just through the end of October. Lilius White is on Broadway in Hagestown, and Alan Menken, of course, his music is heard in Aladdin on Broadway and Little Shop of Horrors off. Seth Beeson-Hirsch does his talent showcase at Don't Tell Mama on Tuesday nights. And then Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, they're at Birdland every Saturday evening, while Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks play there on Monday evenings. And of course, Jim Caruso's cast party every Monday night at Birdland. BirdlandJazz.com. And finally, last but not least, another shout out to Evan Seplow, founder of StageBuddy.com. He's still doing StageBuddy.com.
Oh, I thought he was making a film.
Oh, he's always doing industrials and commercials. But his website goes on, it continues, StageBuddy.com. And then Dr. Demento still doing new Dr. Demento shows every week at drdemento.com. Shout out to the folks who, for various reasons haven't been on the program for a couple of weeks. David Sheward, who is writing, of course, for theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com, and totaltheater.com. He's reviewing theater. Check his blog too. It's called The David Desk. And shout out to Leslie Hoban Blake, who co-stars with Charlie Gross. They review theater on Two on the Aisle. You can find those on YouTube. And Vicky Quaddy, who's doing Late Night Catechism as well as Holy Ghost Bingo in Chicago at the Greenhouse Theater and other places around traveling too. Thank you. And we love them, all our friends of the Daverhood. All right, so it is now 1:45 in the morning, 11:45 in the morning, finishing off this episode of Dave's Gone By, because we've had so much. We've had John DeNicola talking with Rabbi Sol Solomon, we've had our Greeley Times with all that news from Greeley. We've done our friends of the Daverhood. We've talked about so much that happened, our cold and Sudafed and fake Sudafed. And what else we talked about? Going to having COVID and the honey festival with no honey in it, all of that.
I think the top sloth is going to flip. Look, he's sticking his belly
Oh,
out.
he's going. He's going.
That's the first time when I think the gravity pulls them.
You know what's pulling him down? The feeling that we're going to Stonewall for our
Oh yes, you mentioned.
Colorado Limerick of the Dam.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Colorado, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, because Joyce and I lived in Colorado for a bunch of years, and 13 years. So while we were there, towards the end of when we were there, I did love Colorado, but I decided to take all these different names of places in Colorado and write as many poems as I could about as many places as I could. And that has not really stopped, even though we've been away from Colorado for like 5 years now, first in New York and now living in Maryland. But I'm doing them as long as I can, and they get harder and harder, because it's one thing to, name or do a poem with rhymes for Greeley or Vale. Even Evans isn't too bad. And what are some other places?
Boulder.
Boulder. Come on, everything rhymes with Boulder. But start getting a little tougher. So this week, we go to Stonewall, Colorado. Stonewall, and let me tell you a bit about it. It's also called Stonewall Gap. So they're kind of synonymous with each other. It's a little tiny mountain town, 7,900 feet above sea level. So it's literally mountains in far southeast Colorado. And it was originally part of a land grant from New Mexico. And what kind, people, of course, it's called fishing and recreation areas. Here's what happened in 1888. Foreign investors bought parcels of land there and then tried to evict the ranchers who were there, like the rancheros, the Hispanics, and just other settlers who came there. The settlers protested. Things got violent. A couple died. There were more protests about that, and then more arrests were made, and ultimately, well, the land owners won in court. So they took the land, they got it. A legend also tells of two Indian chiefs who, searching for water for their thirsty tribes, met there and they embraced in peace, and they cried for the lack of water. A lake formed at their feet,
Whoa.
but then a volcano erupted and they were enclosed in rock.
Oh, God.
Don't you love these happy old fable
They
stories?
were crying because they had a wee-wee and they took Sudafed.
I'll bet they were crying in pain.
Yes, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, by the way, I never did get to the end of that it did go away. That I had a very bad night, but by the middle of the next morning, my wee worker was working. My bladder was okay, my prostate was fine. It was the meds. It was the cold or it was the meds,
It
but
could've
something
been combo.
blocked my chestnut down
But
there.
why is it called Stonewall Gap?
I don't know. I guess it's a big,
Is
the
it?
mountains look like a big old stone
Oh, okay.
wall. But it's rather interesting. I mentioned earlier in the show that the two Stonewalls have both had protests and things involved in them. Stonewall in New York, and yeah. Anyway, so that was the history and some of the lore of Stonewall. Now we have some of the nightmare of Stonewall. I don't think any of the music I play through because I can click the music button. So we probably never heard the music for Bunyan Watch.
Yeah, well, it gives people something next week to
No, I want to play a little bit of Bunyan Watch, and then I'll do the.
play. Play as your outro.
All right, yeah, I'll show my Bunyan in my sock. Okay. Anyway, let us do our Colorado Limerick, Ahem, of the Damned. A submissive eunuch from Stonewall would wait for his mistress's phone call, then hammer long pins right into his shins and punch himself hard in his lone ball. They flip it.
Literally, at the end when you finished it, he just flipped.
It flipped.
Literally, you
wow.
You went like bump bump, and then it went flip. It just flipped at the end.
Oh boy. So I'm still going to play the Daverhood song, but by gosh, if you missed it before, here is the Bunyan Watch theme.
She's Bunyan, she really is a fun one, she's Bunyan. Listen, doctor, to my plea, it's time for Bunyanectomy. Feet of mine have got to go, please get these bunions off my toes. My elbow boy, would rule all this life. My elbow boy, bunions, painful, bunions, painful.
So proud of that. 7 hours to make that, but worth every
We'll use
minute.
it every show.
Oh yeah.
It was a
Oh.
beautiful show, honey.
Did you recognize the Shags and their song Foot Foot?
I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think it was incredible at the end of your limerick, he literally went and
And he
splatted
said
it
just
down.
the
Yeah.
perfect timing for
Literally,
sloth.
right at the end, he did it. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've literally done
Maybe
everything.
You can train the sloths to flip to your temperament of your stuff.
I know, and
Were
consider
they
the slothful.
flipping when you talked to when the
I couldn't tell. Oh no, didn't that come after?
I don't know.
I think we put him on when he came back in after the rabbi was on.
Okay.
But anyway, everybody do once more check out omadrecords.com for all the doings of our guest, John DeNicola. And also, please, folks, check out my website of my writing, which would be davelefkowitz.org. This is separate from davesgoneby.com, where you have the history of the show and all the archives. This is the archives of my writing. Now, I haven't really added anything in the past few weeks because I've been too busy, but there's still hundreds and hundreds of pieces of stuff. There's song lyrics that I've written. There's comical essays, theater reviews, going back to like the 1980s, for gosh sakes. There's my plays. It's all there in this lovely little website, davelefkowitz.org. Please give that a look when you're not looking at and listening to and watching davesgoneby.com. So, I think that about takes us through
This was a
everything
great
that
show.
we
I don't know how you
need
did-
to
you
or
did
allowed
it
to talk
great
about.
without
Yeah.
coughing.
Oh yeah,
You did great.
yeah. I guess my cold is. I can show you my little phlegm gobs if you
No,
want
I
to.
also think your eyes look good too. Those little pads. Work.
Those yes,
You look very look how awake and alert you look. Look.
I'm feeling good for the first time in a week.
Yeah, the eye pads probably helped. You're all snazzy.
Thank you. You're looking pretty fine yourself.
Let's go order some foodies.
All right, yes, we
I'm
get some
hungry.
bagels, and maybe I'll show you the arts festival thing. We can maybe check out or not.
No, it's raining. Let's just go.
Oh,
I'll get
all right,
cough drops at you know where at the organic grocery, and then there's a bagel place near there.
Oh, we have to hit for stuff or what?
My cough drops.
Oh, you're gonna get that. Oh, not just Walgreens, like Luden's or Whole Brothers. You know what I do when I am pooping nuggets?
Jim, please don't. Please. Don't end on a high note.
There's no for this program. Really a high
Bunyan
note.
song was a high note.
Thank you, Bunions.
Bunyan.
But thank you to Dave J, by the way, who created our classic theme tune, There Goes the Daverhood. So everybody, please have a safe week, a good week coming up. We should be back next Saturday. We'll be taking off the last Saturday in October because Joyce wants to do this Alzheimer's walk thing locally. That will also bring me back to the rib place that has the fucking meatloaf. But
David, you scared me.
But next Saturday, I don't know if we'll have a guest. I don't know if I want to go through I had a guest in mind, and I was pitching and trying, and there were so many caveats and so many issues. I'm like, no, just not going to happen. I was kind of heartbroken. But whether or not we have a guest, I'm guessing next Saturday, 9 o'clock, be here for the 915. Look what's going to happen. Look what it's doing. Look. I got it flipping over again. They can say sloth like 4, huh? Pretty cool, ain't it? And gone by.
Days gone by. Days gone by. Days gone by.
And potato stands with you know who.